Joining you again this week is Ethan Smith. I've often been told that my personality is so magnetic I should not carry credit cards. And if I were to ever pat you on the back, you would probably include it on your resume. Here to talk about all things tattoo and music related and some more general grievances and shenanigans about life. Here with Jamie, Jacob, and Big John.
And Dustin.
Dustin.
Dustin
he joined
showed
us
up
halfway through this episode and led to just utter debauchery.
God, it got crazy.
It did.
It got probably the craziest we've ever gotten.
I can dig it.
So try to get through it. I hope you we all hope you enjoy.
Enjoy.
Do it again. Ooh. Dustin. Do it. Yeah. You smooth motherfucker. All right, bye y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lowbrow Nation.
Fuck yeah, dude. What do we watch on YouTube? So recently, I've discovered this whole fucking thing about people refurbishing old tools on Instagram. I feel like an old man about it, and I'm cool with it. But the first one I watched was this dude. He took this busted ass, fucked up piece of shit fucking like shop vice, refurbished it, took it all apart, cleaned it, painted it, like brand new. So John, 2 Sundays ago, we were at the house watching football.
Yeah.
And it was before football came on, so we're just random shit, just to keep the kids not watching TV. And I put it on a couple of these videos, and then John's like, this is fucking stupid, man. Really? And then, no shit, 16 seconds later, John is looking at the TV with his mouth open, vaping it up, loving it. Loving it.
I'm like, God damn it, I'm hooked.
So I got this Snapchat 2 nights ago, or maybe not last night. Last night, 2 nights ago.
2 or 3 nights ago.
From John's beautiful wife, Erica. And she's like, it's just a Snapchat of the TV, and John's watching someone refurbish a tool. And she's snapped back. She flipped the camera back to her face. She's like, I just want to thank you because you've done this to me. Yeah. And I was like, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, and honestly, there. What's the Motor Trend channel?
Roadkill.
No, Roadkill.
Dirt Every Day.
Dirt Every Day. It's a Motor Trend thing. Motor Trend the magazine.
Roadkill's better.
The dude just takes fucking things and turns it into 4-wheel drive and fucking does
He just
shit
takes
with it.
shitty 4-wheel drive vehicles and makes them capable of off-road vehicles.
And then
with a minimum budget.
Apocalypse Auto.
Apocalypse Auto. Yeah. Those are some dudes that...
And I'm pretty sure, the lead guy on that, I'm going to catch some shit for this, but I'm going to say anyway.
No, you're not. Nobody watches that besides us.
Or nobody listens to us except for us. So, the guy that, the leader of the apocalyptic group, I think he's a little autistic or something.
I don't think... He's not the leader. He just does the voiceovers and the filming.
That makes you the leader.
They came out with a they came out with a new video the other night and I watched it. Basically, Apocalypse Auto are these dudes that they got YouTube famous when they took and destructed a Pontiac Fiero and basically jumped it over a hill. And some producers found it and are like, "Hey, we want to try to make a TV show out of this." So they shot a pilot episode. And they took a fucking school bus and put this huge ass fucking snowplow cow catcher blade on the front of it.
Yeah.
Well, they never got the show never got picked up, so they just tried to continue it. And I found it 3-4 months ago, and basically the video I found was them taking that school bus and splitting a Honda Civic in half with it.
Yeah, but so John sent me this. This is how I found out about it. John sent me this video link. I watched it.
People doing stupid shit with cars.
Which is what we like.
Yeah.
And this dude, I'm looking at it, and I slow it down and look at this car, and you can tell, this car's been split. Yeah, they cut it apart, and then they ran through it.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. That pissed me off. But they do some really neat shit with cars. They found, they were given a fucking, what was a Fiat? In the most recent episode.
Yeah.
They were given a Fiat and a motorcycle. They were getting ready to tear his barn down. And the barn had this Fiat and a motorcycle in it. Mm-hmm. Honda CB750, which makes a bitchin' fucking...
Bobber?
No.
Chopper?
The other one. Come on.
Cafe Racer?
Cafe Racer. Boom.
Shout out Hopper.
Yeah, shout out Hopper and Carson.
Low Slip Customs.
But they got these fucking cars running for the plates on them were labeled like 82. Like the last time that they knew these cars ran were 1985. So the fact that they got them running with minimal work was really cool. But yeah, it was just stupid. Like the whole, I don't know, whatever. I also watch a lot of fucking like treasure hunt videos, like people with their fucking like metal detectors.
Goddamn. You're such an old man.
Man, you know what? If it involves socks and sandals, I'm down. Like,
I'm realizing that we watch
you,
very different things on YouTube.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Do you watch? You guys are pretty much in line.
My
with
main
honestly,
thing that I watch.
we do watch a lot of the same shit on YouTube.
The thing I've been
basically
watching a
because we
lot,
send it
yeah.
send it to each other.
I just
Yeah.
watch unsolved murder mysteries.
Do you really?
Oh,
I watch a
Yeah,
lot
man.
of. I
good
want
call.
to get more into that, but I want to go ahead and just list off. Just go ahead and like just
Yeah, we definitely want to get into that.
talk about more of what I watch on YouTube. I watch more like I don't know, like
Music videos.
well, besides that and like fail videos, like YouTubers I actually like to follow. Like the one I just mentioned, TJ Kirk. I like that guy. He's kind of like I said, he's kind of annoying, but I like him.
Did you say fail videos?
Yeah,
Fail.
I've been watching a lot of golf fail videos.
yeah.
I've actually been watching a lot of golf videos in general so I can get better with my game.
God, you're so goddamn old.
Yeah, I know I am. I'm getting
I watch-
old, bro.
I'm like 95.
I listen to a
I'm
lot.
alright
I
with
listen and watch a lot of like podcasts on YouTube more than anything. I listen to the Very Bad Wizards podcast a lot.
You can listen to the Lowbrow
You ever
Nation
listen to
on
Very Bad
YouTube.
Wizards? They're pretty cool. They're like two like
What fucking? This is the only goddamn podcast on the internet. I don't know what you're
I
talking
know.
about right now.
Yeah,
but
Jacob.
they're cool, man. They're like fucking two like they're like two like professor dudes. Like they talk about a lot about like moral philosophy and shit like that.
Oh,
A
God.
lot of the stuff I listen to revolves around like moral philosophy.
deep shit.
Like I listen to we're like in a scientific context.
Okay.
So like
That sounds interesting.
I listen to a lot of like Gad Sad. He's an evolutionary. What the fuck is it called? I'm like 6 beers in right now.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Gad Sad. I listen to a lot of Sam Harris's podcast, Waking Up with Sam Harris. I'm a big fan of that.
I like to keep my
He's
viewing.
he's kind of a moral philosopher. He's Sam Harris is well known for being one of the 4 horsemen of the new atheist apocalypse.
Okay.
Him, Daniel Dennett, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens. They were
I've
the
actually
original.
heard of Sam Harris.
Yeah, Sam Harris. He's pretty good, man. I
I've not
like
heard
him.
of any of those
There's some
people.
things I disagree with Sam Harris on, but for the most part, I feel like I at least get like a vibe of him being intellectually honest. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
There's some things I disagree with him, especially when in the realm of moral philosophy. Whenever he starts talking about his, because he advocates for objective moral values.
Okay.
In a scientific context, I think that's a little incoherent. But there's a lot of things I do agree with him on. I listen to The Needle Drop. I'm a big fan of Anthony Fantano.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He actually Anthony Fantano viewed one of my stories on Instagram the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So, just real quick about him.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that he gave Kendrick Lamar's album "Damn"
A
the
7
same rating?
as
No.
Little Pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 7.
What do you think?
See, the one thing I like about Anthony Fantano is that he listens for music. He listens to music for what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would disagree with that. I think
Completely disagree with that.
clearly Kendrick Lamar is better than
Yeah.
Little Pump.
I just
Lil
I
Pump.
found it very odd because like, I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I got into him in college, and when I got into him in college, it was just like his like big hits at the time, like swimming pools and
Yeah.
all that other stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
like
but
Good Kid,
then-
Mad City stuff.
Yeah, and then when I got out of college and I started listening to his whole discography, I realized that all of his albums tell a story, and
Yeah,
that
they're all very
they're
conceptual,
very
yeah.
political and socio-economical conscious.
Yeah.
And like I got really into that, and
Yeah.
so knowing the depth that is required for one of Kendrick Lamar's albums versus listening to Lil Pump's album,
Yeah.
I was like,
Gucci
"Are you
Gang
what in
being
the
repeated
world?"
Did you?
53 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you listen to Anthony Fantano's review of the Kendrick Lamar album? Did you actually watch the whole review?
I did.
Okay. I think he makes some good points in it. I don't know. I mean, Damn isn't my favorite Kendrick Lamar. To Pimp a Butterfly is my favorite Kendrick Lamar album.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
To Pimp a
Yes.
Butterfly is the
Absolutely.
his best work so far. I liked it better than Good Kid, Mad City is a fucking classic,
I
but
love
To Pimp a
Good Kid, Mad
Butterfly,
City.
To Pimp a Butterfly is so fucking good to me.
Also, fun random fact: I feel like most people thought that Kendrick Lamar's first album was "Good Kid, Mad City."
No.
but that was his actual sophomore album. He had ADHD before that.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
High Power.
Section 80.
No, Section 80.
Section
That's the
80,
one with
yeah.
High Power on it.
Right,
though. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
he had that, but it wasn't really
Rigor
widely
mortis and all
listened
that.
to. And then he dropped "Good Kid, Mad City" in 2012, and people went crazy for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, that's where Kendrick Lamar begins.
I
But
now know
that's
how Ethan felt earlier when we were talking about Star
So,
Wars.
Yes.
But the thing about Kendrick,
Yeah.
the
'Cause
thing
I don't
about
know what the fuck is happening.
I'm a
right now.
huge music and literary nerd, but I guess the thing about me, like you can ask any of my friends when it comes to movies and TV shows, I'm just really ignorant,
Right.
and it's not a thing that I've actively tried to achieve. But growing up, I watched a lot of English Premier League soccer games, went to a select few movies, and didn't really worry about having a TV show because I was so busy playing sports and reading books and other things. And that sounds like I'm such a nerd, but I was too consumed to really give it a whole lot of time. And when I went to college, I was working too many jobs and too focused on my studies to the point where I didn't even own a television. This year, when I moved into my own apartment, was the first time I owned a television for 7 years. And so it's just like music and literary. I'm all about that. But when it comes to movies and TV shows, I'm really ignorant. I have nothing against it, but I just,
it doesn't cap. It's just priorities at that
Do you,
point.
do you like
Right,
vinyls?
yeah.
Do you have a lot of vinyls?
I don't.
I'm just now getting pretty serious into the vinyl thing.
I actually
Yeah.
brought that up because I figured he did. I'd figured y'all had
Yeah.
something to talk about there.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I'll go over to Well Traveled Beers Vinyl Night,
Right.
and I'll listen to what they put on.
I need to go there. Did they do like a bring your own vinyl kind of situation?
Yeah, it's going on tonight.
Okay.
And essentially you just bring in your vinyls, and they have somebody with an actual turntable to play the vinyl on.
Right.
We looked at
And-
turntables today.
Yeah, and then they serve like a rare craft beer on one of their taps and do $2 off all other taps, and you just go in and bring your vinyl and you tell them what you want to hear.
that's
I have,
cool
I have a
stuff.
lot of
That is
vinyls I
cool.
want to hear
Yeah.
that my turntable and speaker system aren't like really made because I have a lot of metal vinyls and that little Crosby fucking portable fucking suitcase vinyl
Yeah.
or suitcase turntable with the built-in speakers sounds like dog shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds.
I-
I
There's
want
a
to get.
lot of-
I want to get like an Audio Technica. I was looking at that today.
Dude,
I've been looking.
I picked this thing up like while we were looking at it. I picked it up just to look at it, to flip it over to see what, because there was two Audio Technicas. One was a fucking third of the price of the other one.
Yeah, one was like $90 or $80. The other one, the one I want is like $250.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Like you can tell the difference in just weight. Like the one that he wants is fucking heavy.
it converts vinyl to CDs too.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Nah, this thing's badass,
nice.
dude. I feel like everything that looks like it would be made out of like chrome plated plastic, it's not. It's
shit.
just straight metal. Like which fits with Jacob because Jacob's straight
Yeah.
metal.
Anyway, I want to go back to I want to go back to Kendrick Lamar. The thing I like
sure.
about Kendrick Lamar is that even if you don't agree 100% with his politics, like he's still fucking his shit's still well put together. You know what I mean? Like his
absolutely.
like there's some things he says that I don't agree with, like on a philosophical level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean not. I mean I'm probably more sympathetic to some of his gripes than you may be, Jamie, or someone like that.
I don't know shit about.
Well,
it.
I'm
I
just
guess
saying, like-
my thing with him objectively is whether or not I agree with anything he says, it doesn't matter, because
Right.
he is one of the last rappers who's actually just coming. He's telling you his own experience,
Yeah.
and his own thoughts of the events of the world, and that is increasingly rare,
Yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
hip hop and rap nowadays.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just to see somebody come out and build a whole career off of something that in depth and that meaningful, I can respect that on any level. Like if he was just straight up saying things I didn't agree with, I would still listen to him because that is incredible that somebody is able to build an entire career off of being conscious about their own life and their own experiences and having the courage to share that with
Yeah,
the world.
Yeah.
Like my last real exposure to any kind of rap, honestly, because I've been on this like kind of bluegrass folk stuff for a while, is like Nelly, Ludacris, and Lil Dicky,
And,
Lil Dicky
Nappy
because
Roots.
of these guys, Nappy Roots. Yeah,
No, Lil Dicky is great.
Yeah.
But on the bluegrass and like country vein, have you ever heard of an artist called Coulter Wall?
I've heard the name. I'm not sure if I've heard anything.
Okay,
So-
it's crazy. He has one album, and it's called Imaginary Appalachia. And you would think, listening to him, that he's like Johnny Cash's last prodigy because his voice sounds so similar.
Oh, really?
When I first
would
heard
probably
him,
hate him.
when I first heard him like on a song, I thought he was like this 50 or 60-year-old man just like belting out like the hardships of his life. Turns out he's a 19-year-old kid from Canada
Sounds like King Cruel.
who just has like this insanely deep and gruff voice and speaks really intelligibly about the issues that Appalachia faces, and it's just his music is so raw and very like just stripped of
Right.
like any effects or production, and it's just
Yeah.
like him and his guitar and like a kick drum, and that's the kind of music that I really do enjoy because my music taste is so insanely wide. Like I'll do everything from him to Kendrick Lamar to Bob Seger to Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and then like lesser known blues artists. And I even get into like some of the more poppier stuff. Like the Chainsmokers have
Yep.
songs that I enjoy, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Like I'll listen to anything if I like it, and it's just
What?
It's,
You don't listen to anything if you like it?
He'll listen to anything.
I
if
will
he
listen
likes
to
it.
anything if I like
That's
it.
what he said.
Yeah, and
Catch up, Jamie. God.
yeah, no, I think music, and not to get like too head of your philosophical, it's just one of those things that it is incredible to me on any level that humans have that form of expression because we are the only known species or anything else that we know of that can articulate ourselves and our thoughts and emotions in that capacity. And to be able to pick up an instrument with like steel or brass strings that on top of a box of wood or whatever form the instrument takes, and then to be able to put something out there that other people who have never even met you and don't know anything about your life can latch on to and absorb and go, I relate to that. That is just an incredible human phenomenon to me that I am deeply in love with because music was essentially my first love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What music do you listen to the most? Like I think I venture out and I listen to a lot of different kind of music, but I always go back to metal. Like metal's my foundation. You know what I mean?
Right.
For like the music I listen to, it's what I listen to the most, what I probably enjoy the most. What's yours? What would be your?
I can't speak to what I listen to the most, and the reason I say that is because I did like my year in review on Spotify last night, and the way it shook out was I listened to like 63,000 and some odd minutes of music.
Wow.
From I think 1,700 different artists across 35 different genres. Like it is all like it's just all over the place.
I thought I had a vast array of musical taste.
But,
Jesus Christ.
I like what it comes down to. I guess what I cut my teeth on that I always, no matter how far I stray from it, come back to is classic rock.
Okay.
The late 60s and early 70s, that era.
Yeah.
What happened was I grew up playing violin. And I was in the Suzuki Orchestra and all this other stuff. And
We call that the fiddle around here, son.
or in
and
Appalachia.
I got deeply into that, and then the more I grew up, the more like I started kind of slowly developing my own music taste at a young age. And then when I was about 10 or 11 years old, my mom had some vinyls in the basement. And she introduced me to them, and the first two vinyl records I ever listened to were by Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
And then she played like some Gladys Knight and Otis Redding and all this other stuff.
So you like more like definitely like the blues influence kind of.
Yes, and I think that's what I'm getting at. Is even when I go back to like the classic rock, when I say classic rock, I'm talking about Eric, Jimmy, B.B. King, Stevie
Leonard
Ray
Skinner.
Vaughan. Not so much, but I do appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like that.
So-
To me, is that expression of music is the one where it is so intensely just human emotion
Yeah.
layered over through voice
You would-
and guitar.
You would get along pretty well with Dustin, I think.
Hell yeah, you
Oh,
would.
yeah.
Dustin, did you meet Dustin last time you were here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, he was on it.
He's super into blues, specifically pre-World War One blues, like the old like Delta
Oh,
blues,
like Robert Johnson. And
Rock,
that
well,
crowd.
yeah, but like
Okay.
Before him.
he's
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. He's
Wow.
real big into like Son House and like Big Bill Broonzy and Charlie
Okay.
Patton.
The Pioneers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blind Willie McTell.
Those
you
are
know.
the guys who built the base of blues in the sense that they had like really cheap acoustic guitars with like inch high actions.
Yeah.
And all they did were like open D tuning with like playing on the second, fifth, and seventh fret with a slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just wailed over it, their life experiences.
Yes.
And like
Yep.
that's the entire foundation of blues.
So you're like, if you had to trace your music taste back, it would be Clapton and Hendrix. That's who you would say your two biggest influences are.
Yes.
What about you, John?
the real
Me?
quick.
Who are the first like?
Real quick, the if it tells you
Yeah.
anything, the very first song I ever learned to play on guitar, because I got my first guitar when I was 12, and it was an acoustic, but still the first song I ever went for to learn how to play in full was "Sunshine of Your Love" by Cream.
Okay,
So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
that's a good one.
That is good.
That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
Who? What was the first like artist or couple of artists that you say like you really latched onto and that probably molded you in like your music taste?
Like honestly, I don't even really listen to much of it anymore now. The first music artist that I really ever latched onto as a child, and I remember this, was Alabama
Okay,
when I was a kid.
okay,
And from that, my music taste grew because my brother was into was into classic rock and metal. I remember the cover of Nazareth's album with
The one with Hair of the Dog on it?
yeah, with Hair of the Dog
That's
on
a
it.
good fucking album, dude.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album?
I can't remember.
That's a fucking banger all the way through.
That
though. I have
and,
that album on fucking CD. Have it.
Molly Hatchet's album cover. Like, to me, like, it was a very visual thing. Like, if it had an album cover that looked really awesome.
Molly Hatchet has some of the best fucking album covers, dude.
Yes.
Molly.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so Molly Hatchet and Asia are probably like my two favorite. Like as far as like album covers go, I wish I loved Asia's music as much as I fucking love Asia's album covers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like it's same with Molly Hatchet. Like, you look at Molly Hatchet's
I'm thinking like it's gonna be like Manowar or something.
exactly,
You know? Yeah.
exactly. Like this
Molly
epic-
Hatchet's album covers were ahead of their time.
Yeah, they were. Like, you look at their album covers and you're like, this is gonna be like some really metal stuff, and it's Southern rock.
Yeah.
What was that one song they had in that NASCAR game on PlayStation? God, it was such a good song.
I'm traveling down the road.
Yeah, that one.
Disaster.
Flirting with
with
Disaster.
It's really crazy to me that you
Yeah.
said Alabama because
Uh-huh.
that was one of my dad's favorite artists because he went and saw them at the Bowery when he was in his
Wow.
early
Wow.
20s. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's basically the only real thing that I know about Alabama.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
while my mom influenced me with music in terms of classic rock, my dad was a huge country fan.
Uh-huh.
And so what I found was after he died, I took all of like the classic rock and rap that I was listening to, and it evolved into folk and eventually country. And that's really in college. That's when my music taste went just all over the place.
Bananas.
Yeah. That's how, like, to me, like, I don't know, like, to nowadays, like, I always end up going back to, like, I don't know, I go down these rabbit holes, like, even back to like early blues and like rock, like the beginning of rock, like the Yardbirds and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like the most time when I find out, like, and I can't find anything new. That's my problem. It's like I can't find anything new that I like that doesn't sound, original to me. So I always fall back. Honestly, I always fall back to metal or punk
Yeah.
and honestly, like mid-90s rap.
Yeah.
But like on them, and I guess like the one band I always fall back to is like Motorhead.
Motorhead. So
Or-
you say
or
Motorhead.
Ozzy.
Motorhead or Ozzy might be like your flagship as far as metal, or like the ones
Yeah.
that really got you into metal.
Yeah.
What about you? What would you say as far as your like music, man? Like what was the first music you remember really latching onto? As far as like, because like whenever I was a kid, I was like whenever I was young, I was like super into like Toby Keith, and like I had a fucking like little Bow Wow album that I was really into. But I don't really
Yeah.
like think about that shit whenever I think about music that really influenced me, because like I don't really listen to that kind of stuff anymore. Did I say Toby Keith? I meant Tim McGraw.
Two totally different. Well,
Same,
not really.
but different, but still same.
I mean, I was super into Tim McGraw, and I was super into like Lil Bow Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was super like
like
fucking Lil Bow Wow and Aaron Carter and bullshit like that. Not saying Tim McGraw's bullshit, but Aaron Carter and Lil Bow Wow.
bullshit.
Bullshit, yeah. So I don't like exactly. So like whenever what I'm talking about is like the first shit you really latched onto that like you think
There's three.
that
I
you
got
think
three.
like really has like you've carried with you
I
throughout
got
life
three.
that has like influenced your like what you listen to now.
I know them right now. I can tell you right now.
Okay.
Randy Travis.
Okay.
I still listen to him. I remember when we lived in the mountains. My mom worked out of prison. I remember just one day in particular, my dad and I went to go pick my mom up from work for whatever reason.
That sounds like a fucking country song right there.
Yeah. My mom worked at the prison. Daddy and I had to go pick her up. Shit, son. I was in the truck in the damn old, and it was a truck. I was in the truck.
you have a country song.
It was a
You know,
Yeah.
you got
pickup
prison,
truck.
you got mama and daddy, and you got a truck.
That's it, dude.
I'm
That's
gonna
all
have
you
to
need. That's
talk
a whole
to Eric.
album.
I'm gonna have to talk to Eric Strickland.
That's a discography, dude.
Yeah. So we were there, and I ran to Travis. It was a tape, and I knew the whole tape. I started singing every song on the tape before the song would start.
Right.
It was the album that had Digging Up Bones on it and all that shit, the original one. Mm-hmm. So that one, Randy Travis, all day. Metallica, the first CD I ever bought was the Metallica Black Album. And I love Metallica. I like old Metallica. I like new Metallica. I probably, honestly, am one of the few people that like new Metallica more than I like old Metallica.
If you know Jamie, that's not surprising.
It's
No.
not. It's not. And Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, I knew Skinner was going to be up there.
It was. I mean, I played in a cover band with Eric Strickland for a long time. And we were a Southern rock band, but we literally were a Skinner cover band.
The older
broke
I've gotten,
down.
the more I appreciate Skinner.
But I like older. I like Skinner that you don't hear.
Yeah.
One of the Sun. One of the Sun didn't even have a Van Zant singing on it. It was Alan Collins that sang One of the Sun. One of the Sun's probably one of my favorite songs. And just there's so many good Leonard Skinner songs that nobody ever hears. You hear fucking Curtis Lowe, Tuesday's Gone, fucking
Three Steps.
Sweet Home Alabama,
Simple
Sweet
Man.
Home Alabama, Simple Man, Give Me Three
Free
Steps,
Bird.
and Free Bird. Nailed it. Those 6 songs are the 6 songs that people hear from Skinner. They got so many good motherfucking songs. Mr. Banker, holy fuck, Mr. Banker's such a good song. There's so
Write
many
it in
good
a song.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many good songs out there that I mean, from Skinner that nobody knows. And from Skinner, there was the Alan Collins band. There was Ronstein Collins band. There was Artemis Powell. He had a band.
38 Special.
Nah, 38 Special was one of the Van Zant brothers.
Okay.
It's not one that sang in. That was he wasn't part of Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
There's Ronnie, Donnie, and Johnny. Ronnie died in a plane crash. Johnny's the singer now for Skinner, and Donnie is one of the singers for 38 Special.
Did you love the Leonard Skinner Roadrunner new metalish release?
I have no clue what the fuck you're talking
It came out 10 years ago. They
Nice.
tried to kind of update their sound.
They do like a new metal album.
I don't want to say it's not really new metal, but it was more of an updated southern rockish sound
Weird.
with kind of radio rockish.
about. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd listen to it just to see what it sounds like. But man, there Curtis Lowe. That's another one. That's number 7 of the list. I don't know if I said that a little while ago, but that song, people know it. There's so many good songs from Leonard Skinner that nobody knows. And if you played some of the songs that they have now, they'd be like, "Yo, who did that? Fucking Steel Drivers did that."
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton wrote that.
All right. Question.
You know, hold on. We were talking about music.
Yeah.
We're talking about heady stuff, right? With music. I brought this up to a customer the other day. The Steel Drivers, which is the bluegrass band that Chris Stapleton, super big deal in country music right now.
Oh yeah.
After the Steel Drivers, he left the Steel Drivers so he could spend more time with his family. Steel Drivers kind of blew up out of fucking nowhere. Didn't mean to, and it's considered, I guess, newgrass instead of bluegrass. He stepped away from them and accidentally started this band called the Johnson Brothers. It's like Thompson, but with a J.
Accidentally.
Yet they actually got pretty good play from places, and they were pretty good. But they had this one song called 17. It was a little rapey. Whatever.
It was
It really was. It was very had some rapey
very
tones in it.
statutory rapish.
Yeah, it was a weird song. But going back to the Steel Drivers, actually have a new lead singer now, and I like him. Some people don't. He's not Chris Stapleton. Chris Stapleton's got the voice of a fucking beer drinking, whiskey drinking, cigarette smoking angel.
Well, you
what
know
I mean?
he wrote most popular country music.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's in the
Oh, yeah,
cigarette
he made
packet.
it-
I don't know
I
where
mean,
it is.
he was
False
the, he
River.
was the big songwriter behind like a lot of these famous country artists.
Same thing with Jamie Johnson. Jamie
Yeah.
Johnson wrote Honky Tonk Badonka
Yep.
And I feel like he probably, if there's ever a time when we find Jamie Johnson dead in a hotel room from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, it's going to be directly because of that fucking song.
yeah.
A fun
the
side
guy-
story
That's what-
is one of my best friends in college went up to Danville, Virginia to a race, and he
bet.
was walking around like the inside track, and he said he met Jamie Johnson.
Yeah.
And Trace Atkins was there too.
Oh,
and he got to meet both of them in the one day.
That's cool.
And like this dude at the time, he was a football linebacker. He was like my height, 6'2", like 325 pounds. Just
I'm going to
this-
eat all your food kind
right,
of dude.
like just huge. And he said these guys got out of their like little golf carts and stood up, and they were like 6'7", 6'8", like deep voice, just jacked. And he was like, "Oh my god!" Because
Yeah.
you hear their voices and you figure they're big dudes.
Fucking Trace
Yeah.
Atkins is like
But-
6'6", 6'7",
yeah, but you
dude.
just you don't figure how large they actually are until you meet them in person.
Yeah. Well, with the Jamie Johnson thing, you know what? Jamie Johnson apparently, from what I understand, had to take this past year off because his voice got real fucked up.
Yeah.
Now, I want to hear, now that Chris Stapleton's been around the fucking game for a while, so has Jamie
yeah.
Johnson. I want to hear a duet with Jamie Johnson and Chris Stapleton.
I'd listen to that.
I feel like them two could put together some shit that would knock country music on its fucking ass. Now, Chris Stapleton has been putting out music recently, even recent music, that would be considered outlaw country music.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And when I say outlaw country music, I don't mean Eric Church. I wear sunglasses inside.
Right. Well, so
outlaw stuff.
like actually,
so he
finish and then yeah,
Chris
question.
Stapleton writes songs about life.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he's got a song on his most recent album, what is it? From the Room, Volume 2. I'm I'm not sure what it is, but he's got a song called "Them Stems." Like he talks about like not having the money to go buy weed, so he's just smoking them stems. He calls his buddy up like, "Yo, dude, you got some weed?" "Nah, man, I've been smoking these stems. Like, let's go smoke these stems together." I mean, he talks about real life. Now his wife's pregnant with twins, so I don't know
What
who's gonna
are
fucking
your,
play tambourine with him right now. But
What are your thoughts on Eric Church?
Eric Church?
Yeah.
I think Eric Church is cool because he's from North Carolina. I think he's stupid for wearing sunglasses all the fucking time, and I just think I don't like his voice.
Okay.
Like I feel like personally, this is gonna sound maybe a bit conceited. I don't sing very well because I've always, compared myself to country music superstar Eric Strickland. But I feel like I could probably sing better than Eric Church.
Yeah.
He sings out of his
I have
nose.
like a weird hometown love for him.
I
Because
get that
I'm from
because he's from
Morganton.
up there. You know
He's
what I mean?
from Granite Falls. It's
Yeah,
literally
which is
15 minutes away.
Y'all neighbors.
Yeah.
I get that.
Right.
But he sings out of his fucking nose, and it pisses me off. And his last song he came out with, on the CMAs,
What was it?
he did a song with this lady, and it was really good. She was way better than he was. She was like a backup singer, and she
Was
like
it,
stepped forward and started singing with him, and she fucking killed it.
Was
Eric-
it like a wrecking ball?
no, like the fucking Miley Cyrus song?
No.
Oh.
No. No, he has a song literally called like a wrecking
It could have
ball.
been. I don't know. I could barely understand the word he fucking said because he was either drunk, high, or stupid or dumb. I just couldn't. He just it sounded like he had a huge penis all up in his mouth while he was singing.
I went to a concert of his in Greensboro
Sorry.
in the fall of 2014.
Did you pay for it?
No.
Okay.
But actually, I really had a good time. And
I feel like he put on a good show.
Yeah, and like something that spoke to me about like exactly how much the guy drinks, I guess, just on that one concert experience before he launched into Jack Daniels, that song that he has, which
Yeah.
is actually super bluesy, which I think is one of the reasons that I like it.
Eric Church does have a lot of blues influence in his music.
and like him and his lead backup, I should say, they both got like the 375 milliliter like plastic bottles of Jack Daniels, clinked them on stage and chugged them and threw them into the audience and then launched into it. But I guess what I already liked his music. Something that made me respect him for all of his downfalls is he had a fan of his that had been to more than 100 of his concerts. And he asked her, like, what do you want to hear me play? And so at the very end of the concert, he essentially called her out by name and said she requested this song, played it just himself, acoustic rendition, and then said, by the way, this is a song I wrote just for you, and then played that on stage too.
That's awesome.
Right. And like that's I guess that's what brought the respect into it for me, because that is so beyond rare nowadays.
I
and
really
he just did that.
There's something I want to say about the Steel Drivers.
Yeah.
But about the respect thing, Brantley Gilbert. I don't care for Brantley Gilbert's music.
Nope.
I don't care for it, not one fucking bit. But
What's he
he's written
sing?
a lot of fucking songs. What's that one that one song that Jason Aldean did that got real big? He sang it with Ludacris.
Oh.
Dirt
Not
Road
chilling
Anthem.
on Dirt Road. Oh.
Yeah, Dirt Road Anthem.
Yeah.
He didn't write that song.
Brantley Gilbert.
Oh, Brantley Gilbert. Yeah,
Brantley
okay.
Gilbert wrote the song. Brantley Gilbert has written a
BG
lot of songs
Nation.
in country music. I don't really care for his music. I don't care for his style, but I respect the dude. And the one reason is because I watched this video on YouTube and I cried like a baby. But a dude met him, a meet and greet, and the guy was a Purple Heart veteran. And shut up, kitty cat. Y'all probably didn't hear that. There's a kitty cat at the door.
Be nice.
There's the dude literally was like, "Hey, you stick up for veterans, you love us, all that stuff. I want to give you this." And the guy gave Brantley Gilbert his Purple Heart.
Jesus.
That's a big fucking deal. My dad had a Purple Heart
Yeah,
from Vietnam.
that's insane.
And the guy, like, he's a big deal with like the veterans community. So I respect him for that stuff. I don't like his music. I'm sorry.
Well,
He's
just-
probably a real cool guy. He'd probably be sitting right here with us drinking beer,
Well,
talking
I mean,
shit about his music.
Yeah, just because you got shitty taste in music or you make horrible
Don't mean you're a
music-
bad person.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Yeah, nah, but
You know?
yeah,
I mean, some guys are actually they're really good songwriters, but they can't actually perform their own songs to save their lives.
well, guess
True.
that's what they said about Jamie Johnson for a long time because he's so traditional. Back to that, I'd love to see Jamie Johnson and Chris Stapleton fucking do something
Oh, yeah.
together.
I wanna
think
see Jamie Johnson
God knows,
do
man, that's like a beard
Honky
fest.
tonk, badonkadonk.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? That's one thing I could probably go the rest of my life with never seeing. But what I was going to
That
say,
song probably bought him a house.
that no, you know what song bought him a house was actually he's on, or Chris Stapleton is on record for saying this. What is the song that Darius Rucker sang? It was a big one.
Wagon Wheel?
No, Jesus Christ!
Because
he didn't even sing that song. That was
quick
somebody
side
else.
note: Darius Rucker,
He did sing the
he
song.
could sing a phone book, and
He
I would
could.
listen to it.
Yeah.
because he is such a great singer.
and a storyteller.
Right, but
Yeah.
then when he did Wagon Wheel, I was like, I hate this because
Yeah, it was-
it's not pure to what the song was supposed to
It
be.
was terrible.
Yeah,
I didn't
You
like
think-
it.
he's a
You-
fantastic singer, but he did not need to.
I
touch
watched
Wagon Wheel.
I watched Old Crow Medicine Show and Kesha do that song the other night on CMT Crossroads.
Wow.
And they did a better job than Darius Rucker.
Have
Right.
you ever heard the bootleg recording of Bob Dylan actually doing that?
I have not,
'Cause
but I
he
know that's where
originally
Old
wrote
Crow
that.
got it from.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So quick plug in that regard. One of my favorite bands, hate on it all you want, is actually Mumford and Sons.
I like Mumford and Sons.
What not? I don't.
Yeah,
Jacob
like-
might hate on it.
I don't
And,
know. I don't know.
The way I got into them is I was dating this girl in college, and she was big into them, introduced me to their Sigh No More album, and then that was it for me.
Yeah.
But then they did something with themselves, the Allman Brothers, and of all people, Johnny Depp, who can apparently play electric guitar.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
that fucking one band.
He
Right.
tattooed somebody too.
The fuck that band?
And so it's
Yeah,
called
band.
the New Basement Tapes. And the way they got their name was they
Vampire
went.
or something?
No.
Johnny Depp. No, I'm talking
it
about.
was-
I'm sorry.
Yes, you're good. They found a whole bunch of Bob Dylan's old songs that had never been recorded. He wrote them down in like a journal, and then never recorded them.
Oh wow.
And the one that Johnny Depp does with the Allman Brothers and Mumford and Sons is called Kansas City, and it is absolutely mind-blowingly good.
Okay.
And so but the fact that Bob Dylan wrote Wagon Wheel and Old Crow took it on.
Now
Mumford and Sons
there's a
came
lot
back
of
around
like
and did
there's
that.
a lot of weird stuff with that. Now, did Bob Dylan write that song or part of that song?
He wrote
it.
He never finished it.
He
Right.
wrote part of the
What
song.
is what I've always heard
I
and
think
read.
he wrote most of it, but never quite finished it. And then Old Crow took it on and finished it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, Kesha and Old Crow Medicine Show's version was better than Darius Rucker's.
Like I said, he's a great singer, but he did not need to come anywhere near Wagon Wheel.
Yeah,
No.
no.
I mean, just
All right,
honestly, being from North Carolina, and
the
this
Carolinas.
area, and honestly, being an NC State fan, like every time I go to an NC State football game, it's blaring from some speaker.
Well, man,
every 20 feet.
I went to Elon, and that's a private university.
Yeah.
It's got more out of state than in state and everything else. And so everybody would come together and play Wagon Wheel and think it was like the North
Okay.
Carolina anthem and everything else. But I was like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Wagon Wheels.
Because they're from Asheville, I'm from Morganton, 45 minutes away, and the history of that song and what went into it and how authentic it is.
Old Crow's from
And-
Asheville?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
Little bit
they
of-
would just blast it at a party and get drunk to it, and I'm like, no, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Wagon Wheel. I really want to talk about these two songs from the Still Drivers real fast, but Wagon Wheel, that song, we were in Florida for our brocation for John's bachelor party this
Yes.
past summer, and the band, it was a punk rock band,
It was a punk rock cover band.
and they knew we were from North Carolina because we were yelling it,
Right.
because that's what we do when we're drunk.
Obviously.
And from North Carolina, we
Sure.
fucking let motherfuckers know where we're
Right.
from. They literally looked at us and this goes out to you, Big John. Sorry, I yelled that in the microphone. Everybody, I'm sorry for your car speakers. And they started playing Wagon Wheel, and me,
Ooh.
Carson, John, Jarrett, and Puckett. Puckett was asleep on the.
Did they have the decency to break out the acoustic guitars?
No.
No,
Oh,
no,
It was a
no.
punk
You know
rock
what? No,
rendition.
it was awesome.
I was so drunk.
Really? It was
I
cool.
didn't know if it sucked or not.
It
to
was.
be
I
honest.
wasn't. I wasn't that drunk, and it was really cool because dude, we were yelling. At one point, John and Carson were on stage with these dudes. It was ridiculous, bro.
Okay.
All right, so let me tell you
I
about
can
these
dig
two
it.
songs real fast by
Yes,
the Steel Drivers.
yes,
It was
yes.
on one of the albums. One of them's called "Can You Run?" And one of the lines goes, "Can you run to the freedom line of the Lincoln Soldier? Contraband could be a man with a musket, basically." And Peacemaker, that's another one. Peacemaker's about a gun. The Peacemaker, the Colt Peacemaker, and why do I have to have a voice so loud? I could have been a railroad line or a train. And I started thinking about those two songs. You hear bluegrass and all that stuff, and you think, Southern, just guns blazing, all that stuff. Now, from Can You Run, what I take from it is You were talking about heady stuff 27 minutes ago before we got way off on a rant. But the Candy Run song, it to me seems like it's a song or a story told by a Union soldier running, because there's a part in it also that says you got to get up. You know, you might get shot, but you still got to go. Got to get the fuck out of here because we're gonna get it fucked up, and get to the Lincoln line. And from the way I've listened to the song, I've listened to it and paid attention to it, and it almost seems like I said, it's sang from a Union soldier's point of view. Same thing with Peacemaker. You think of bluegrass, you think Southern, you think fucking pro-gun, pro-whatever. You think bluegrass, you're going to fucking think Republican, really, honestly, if you think about it. Peacemaker, if you think about the song and listen to the words, it's almost anti-gun. You know what I mean? I'm not getting political or anything like, well, it kind of sounds like I'm getting political. I don't mean to be. But I was listening to these two songs, and I was like, well, damn, dude. You know, it's crazy. But when listening to them, I love both those songs. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck about I do care about the story and the outcome of it. But it both of those two songs make you think. When we were talking about heady music, earlier, it would have been a lot more in context. And I'm sorry to bring it back to that, but but yeah, it just, you know, I've been wanting to get that out for a little while, and I had to pee, and then we started talking about something else, and.
You're going to ask a question like 50 minutes ago, John. What was it?
Oh, God. What was the first album or CD you ever bought?
Oh, Eric Clapton 20th anniversary.
CD or album?
The CD. But that's, I mean, again, I guess I'm a millennial, so CDs were albums. But it was Scorsese collection.
Okay.
That they came out with for like every major classic rock artist and everything.
Uh-huh.
And
I remember those.
And it was like a silver cover with like a shot of Eric Clapton playing guitar, and like had like the silver wraparound words and everything, and it was all of his greatest hits that he had ever performed over the years.
Oh,
and
that's
that
awesome.
was the first one.
I think actually my dad had that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the first one I ever went out and bought because I got my first acoustic guitar, like I already talked about, when I was 12. But then when I turned when I turned 13, my parents gifted me my first electric guitar,
Awesome.
and it was a baby blue pearl pickguard humbucker setup Fender Stratocaster. And
like a Fender Strat, not a Squire Strat.
Fender Strat, like authentic
fucking
American Fender
badass.
Strat. And
An American,
so
not even a
I will say
Mexican
this, and like a quick plug, like not to get super sentimental or emotional or everything, but I was really fortunate growing up. I had a great set of parents and a great set of grandparents that wanted nothing more than to just give me the world and help me chase my dreams. So I was very blessed in that regard.
That's awesome, dude. Me too.
But
I had a lot of people backing me. So.
Right, and so I got that. And then I remember we went out to the Best Buy in North Myrtle Beach.
Definitely a spoiled little kid to me.
And because my birthday is July 4th. And so we were down at the beach, and I got my first electric guitar. And we went to the Best Buy in North Myrtle, and I was walking through the DVD section. And I plucked out Eric Clapton and B.B. King Crossroads concert.
That is an amazing fucking show.
Yes. And so literally the way I learned my way around an electric guitar was I sat in front of the TV with that DVD on repeat with my electric guitar out and just like learned how to play all those songs. And that was it. I did that for like
probably
2 or 3 hours a
the
day.
worst way to learn guitar.
No, I know, but it was all I had at the time.
No, I'm just saying because they're like so intricate in what they do. Like,
right, but I was able to pick that out, and like what you guys were talking about, I think maybe before the podcast started, was about how if you just learn tablature and no music theory or music reading or anything, like that's one of the worst ways. I came up by it very, very weird, and I'll get back to the point in just a second. But I learned guitar by taking. I took proper lessons when I was 12, and I got to read music and learn theory, but like just the very tip of it. Like I didn't have enough time to delve into it, and so when these guys came around on the DVD that I was watching, I had just enough knowledge to know what they were doing. And then I just continued that on like through the rest of my life to where it was like learning by listening, by watching, by studying, all this other stuff. But
I don't know a single, like, I can't read music for shit. but
Yeah.
I mean, I can play stuff.
Right, and like I got that DVD, learned everything, and then it came time. Like I've been working a landscaping job. I was 15 years old, and finally had enough money to like go out and buy something. And to bring it full circle, I was back in a Best Buy, and found that Eric Clapton CD, and I was like, you know what? That's the one, and that was the
Fuck
first
yeah.
one I ever bought.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
The first electric guitar you had was an American Strat.
Yes, and so the second electric
That's
guitar that I ever had was an authentic 1970s Fender Stratocaster.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
So, like, I can't
Jesus.
stress enough. Like, when I say I was super fortunate, I was. And, like, I don't want to sound like this like stuck up pretentious kid because
No.
for some reason, like even though I was raised in that and everything, because that's not the case for me now. But back then, I don't know what it was, but every time my family did something that monumental for me, I wasn't like the snotty nosed brat that was like, "Of course you did." It was always like, "Oh my god, this
You were
is the
thankful.
best grip."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so
Well-
thankful and so appreciative of what they were willing to sacrifice just to make sure I had that and could chase that dream. And it was insane because I got an American Strat, my very first electric guitar.
I heard
and
a
then my
lot.
second one was the authentic 19 like Jimi Hendrix style. It was cream white, the pickups and like with a maple neck, the fat head,
That is
and it was
sweet.
completely authentic.
Your first two guitars were probably some people's fucking grail guitars.
So
Yeah, for
so
real.
let me walk you through just like a quick aside. I know I've been doing that a lot, but
Do it.
My very first guitar, the acoustic, was like a $200 Ibanez acoustic. That was the entry point, which is about as basic as you can get. But what
Yeah.
my guitar teacher told them was, if you get him this and he learns how to play it, he will be able to play anything that you put in his hands. And so I spent a year, just 7 days a week for 365 days, just toiling away at that Ibanez acoustic. And I had to show progress in order to get my first electric Stratocaster.
That's
and
awesome.
from then on out, I have essentially amassed an insane collection of guitars. I still have my very first electric, that Fender Strat. I no longer have the 1970 Strat because I had to sell it to help pay for college and everything else. Because
Probably
essentially,
paid for your college.
no.
I'm just
Elon is
picking.
really expensive.
Yeah, I'm just picking.
But I graduated college with it and everything else. But then my student loan started hitting, and I was like, you know what? I got to trade this thing in. So I was able to trade it in for a semi-hollow body Ibanez Art Core and still make a profit on it to put it toward my student loans.
Nice.
The responsible decision. But then
Yeah.
I went and bought a standard Martin acoustic electric. It was like $500, the triple O body style, while I was still in college. Bought that, and then over the years, my dad's father gifted to me his one and only guitar that he ever bought, and it was a 1962 Dreadnought Yamaha. And so, like, I still have that. It's super vintage. Like, I take really good care of it, rarely play it. And then my soon-to-be stepfather, the man who my mom is engaged to right now, he had an authentic Martin acoustic electric from like 1974. And
That's
it has,
the one I was getting ready to mention.
yeah, and so it has like a V-shaped neck, like solid wood, all this other stuff, like the original electronics in it and everything else. And again, like that is a very rare guitar for me to actually play.
And you said that he gave it to you. He just can't play it anymore, right? Because
Right.
his hands messed up or
Yes,
something like that.
yeah. Like what happened was he and my mom started dating. They've been together for I want to say about maybe 5 years now, and they're engaged to be married. And I was home for Christmas in 2013. Last year of college, and he was breaking out all his old guitars and everything, and he has an authentic 1980s tube amp, and he was plugging in like his Gibsons, his Martins, everything, because he has a mad collection of guitars, and I was playing all of them, but then he handed me this Martin that I now have, and I just started ripping across that thing, and I fell in love with it. And so he listened the entire night to me play that thing. We stayed up until like 3 a.m. Playing guitar, swapping stories, all this other stuff. Next night, same thing. Next night, same thing. And like I always was going back to that Martin acoustic electric. And the day that I was leaving out to go back to college, he said, "Hold on, don't go anywhere yet." And he went down to the living room, and he came back up with that guitar in the original case, which has like tour stickers like from everywhere it's been, like Amsterdam, England, all this other stuff. And he handed it to me. He said, "This is yours now." And I went, "What? What do you mean?"
Yeah.
See, when
And
you told me
yeah.
that story, and you could tell, like I know on the radio, on the fucking whatever you listen to us on, you can't see the look that Ethan has in his eyes. But when he was telling me the story originally, fucking almost a year ago when
Yeah.
we first met,
Yeah, absolutely.
you had this look in your face like this motherfucker, like just disbelief,
Yeah.
full appreciation of it.
It felt like that was his essentially like prized possession
Yeah.
in terms of guitars over the
Yeah.
years, and he saw how much I cared for it and how
He
well
just
I could
wanted
play
you to
it.
walk him down the aisle when he marries your mom.
And so and then like I didn't even really know the guy that well at that time because I
Yeah.
had met him maybe like 6 or 7 times, and he and I really bonded over all these guitars that he had and everything else, and he just gifted that to me, and I said, Robert, are you sure? Like, I know this is like
Yep.
a really big thing for you. And he said, my hands are too arthritic now to where I can't really get everything out of it that I want to, so take care of it, and play it, and it's yours. And that's what I did.
That's
amazing.
awesome,
That's fucking
dude.
awesome,
Great.
dude.
Yeah.
Look, when he first told me that story, almost a year ago, like I got chills when he was telling
You
me.
probably almost cried.
Honestly, I probably did. I may have cried actually because I'm sensitive.
That's awesome though.
That's a great story,
incredible.
man.
That's really-
I was actually getting ready to ask you about that, and you kept talking,
Yeah.
so I was like, "Fuck it, he's got it."
Yeah.
God, dude, I have kind of the same story. Well, no, not really. It's not that in depth.
Let's do the first album thing.
It's
Let's
not
do
that
do
exciting.
Let's do that round table.
Well, I have a guitar. I was gonna say, my dad bought me my. It's a Ibanez Roadstar 2 from 1982. I was born in 1982.
Nice.
And my dad gave it to me. That's there's 2 guitars I'll never get rid of. No matter if I quit playing, never play again, doesn't matter. They're always gonna be there. And it's that one. I nicknamed it Angel back in the day. It's a 4-string bass, and there's a Washburn acoustic that is hanging on my wall. Never gonna move. And my dad gave me both of them. But they're both basses, and that's what we are. But yeah, sorry.
Let's go with,
you're great.
John, first album you remember buying?
First album I
Well,
remember
okay.
buying.
I want to do the same thing I kind of did when we were talking about music that influenced us, or like our first music we remember latching onto. Because, like I said, I did the whole Little Bow Wow thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk too much about Little Bow Wow and how much he fucking like has made me the man I am today. You know
You
what I
ain't
mean?
as fresh as I'm is.
Yeah. No, I want to know, like, okay, so like even if you had like like a fucking like Ralphie or like fucking Wiggles tape when you were a kid or some bullshit like that.
Ralphie.
I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about the first like albums that you.
The first album I actually ever bought would be, and I asked this question not like fully knowing that I can't really remember the first.
I can't
actual
either,
album.
but I'm gonna tell you the ones that I definitely remember the most whenever it comes my turn. So, because I remember having like an NSYNC album whenever I was a kid, but I was like, did I buy it? Did I tell my mom I wanted it? Did she just buy it for me? You know, I don't know.
The first album I think I remember buying for myself with the money that I earned was, oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. Super Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music by Outkast.
That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
That's tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You played
It
the fuck
wasn't
out of
even-
it.
Yeah, it was a cassette. Yep, it sure was. That and I bought that and oh my God, the Rage Against the Machine album with the Burning Monk on the cover.
I know what you're talking about.
I was in 7th grade and I was in military school. I didn't even buy it. I ripped off BMG for it. Yep, I ripped off BMG for those. Yeah. And even still to this day, like I fucking love Outkast. Like everybody's all about Hey Ya and BY or Bombs Over Baghdad or whatever. No, that
Yeah.
like that Peaches by Outkast is my shit.
What about you, Jamie? What's your first album?
The
First meaningful album. We'll say that.
first meaningful album. Honestly, I'd say I have 3.
Yeah, me too. But go ahead.
This is gonna sound crazy, but the Black Album from Metallica.
Right.
I literally used to fall asleep to that, and I bought it when I was in 7th grade. Actually, when I first met our good buddy Mikey, and I used to fall asleep to that.
When was that? 94?
I don't know.
93?
Something. I literally have no clue how long ago 7th grade was.
You're 35.
Yeah.
I'm 25. 7th grade for me was in 02. So
10 years from that.
it would have been the year that I was born.
92,
1992.
I'd say 93.
Okay.
I'd say 93 because I remember in 91 because that was like the peak of fucking. No, 91. I was in. Fuck, I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Sorry.
you were
That
held
was-
back a year
I was. So it was like
In-
93.
in
93, 94.
early on.
Yeah, in kindergarten. Actually.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck.
I was.
I wasn't.
Side
I didn't
note.
fail kindergarten. Hold on. I didn't fail kindergarten. I was fucking held
Does
back
not play well with others.
because I was.
Yes.
I was tiny. I was like. I was. The people in this room know my kid and know how little he is. I was that little. We also
Okay.
held that little fucker back.
Yeah.
So
Okay, because I was in military school in '94, and that was the year my dad went to prison. Yeah.
97. So you and I have been friends for 20.
My friend,
What?
do you
2?
also have a country song in the works?
No.
you
He's
don't
got a
even
country.
know.
He's got a country album.
Okay.
No, I've got like a country discography.
Yeah.
Like,
What is it? So we met. Was it like 22 years ago, right? 22, 23 years ago.
Yeah, we were in 8th grade.
Yeah. So the year before that.
Yeah. No, because I failed 8th grade, and when I came to Four Oaks, it was my second year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't remember. Dude, it was a long fucking time ago. So, Metallica, the Black Album. I literally used to fall asleep to that whole album. And then I don't remember what Skinner album it was. I think it was Pronounced. It was really good. But one album that really stands out to me a lot was my dad used to be in country radio, so we used to get like different albums and different CDs and different songs from new songs from stuff. But one that really stands out to me was it was a double live album from Garth Brooks.
Okay.
And
My dad was a massive Garth Brooks fan, so
Dude.
I probably heard that.
every song on that album was great. The live version of Friends in Lonely Places, the live version and the Thunder Rolls,
Yes.
how they both have extra.
Same album. Yeah.
They both have extra verses to them. Thunder Rolls is still probably one of my favorite songs.
Yes.
Garth Brooks, I like Garth Brooks a lot.
I feel like in this part of the podcast, we need to edit that in and just like
The
let
song?
people hear it. Yeah.
Just a Thunder Roll in there. Yeah.
The live version.
That was 224.
Looks like you're going to have enough for 2 episodes.
Or maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 17.
Yeah. So I'd say honestly, yeah. I'd say those 3. Pronounced, and that's more recent than my original. The original album, the first CD I ever got was the Black Album. And I believe after that was a Garth Brooks album. It wasn't the double album, but that double album means a lot to me. The John Anderson, I grew up in country music. My dad being in country music radio, stuff like that. So that country music has a big part of me. But there was a John Anderson album tape. Sorry, it was a John Anderson tape, and it had the one with the Seminole Wind on it. It was purple. That's the only thing I fucking remember about it. The tape itself was purple, and I thought it was weird. It wasn't black or clear or white. So I thought it was kind of
Like
cool.
Raekwon, he had the purple tape
I don't know who's Raekwon.
from fucking Wu Tang. The purple tape. Whatever.
I don't know. I literally, like, the first time I really listened to rap music
Whenever
was
I die-
17 years ago when I started dating my wife.
Whenever I die, I want that to be my tombstone. Whenever I die, I want that to be my tombstone. Raekwon's
Purple album?
Raekwon's purple tape.
So, do you know what my burial plan is? And I feel like I should go ahead and get a record of it because I've told my closest friends, but I'll go ahead and get it on the record here. When I die, I want to be cremated and then have my ashes loaded into shotgun shells. And I want somebody to stand on the side of the mountain and play Highway to Hell by AC/DC and drink Jack Daniels and shoot the shotgun shell ashes out over the mountain.
Fuck yes! Hell yeah!
That sounds fun.
It's so awesome.
What?
That's awesome.
We can actually. I'm down to go back to that because
Yeah.
What about you, Jacob?
Okay.
Or you already did yours, right?
No, I didn't.
About Little
I
Bow
didn't,
Wow.
I didn't even know. Well, I don't.
Little Bow Wow was your
the
first
whole
one.
thing that
That
I
means
said
so
doesn't
much
count.
to you.
No. Well, see, I didn't even get to do my favorite bands. We didn't even get
But
to talk
Little
about
Bow Wow
most
is your-
influential-
What are your
All
favorite
time.
bands?
Well, okay, my two,
Aaron Carter and
Tell us your life story, Jacob. Tell us right now.
Fuck you, bro.
It's all love here.
New Kids on the
well,
Block.
so if we're going all the way back, fucking 2 hours ago, to when we were talking about our most influential I can't remember what the fucking question.
Only
was.
24 minutes on the podcast.
It was music. I like most influential music early on was Slayer and Pantera.
Are you trying?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Slayer and Pantera.
The only Motorhead song that I know is Ace of Spades because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah,
Slayer,
it's like this.
Slayer and
Yes.
Yeah.
Slayer and Pantera are my two most influential, probably my top two favorite bands still to this day.
So, quick
I like
question.
Pantar.
Quick question.
I like Pantar.
How did Dimebag Darrell's death affect you?
That was the first thank you. That was the first celebrity or musician death that really impacted me. I remember seeing that on the news, and I was like, "Fuck," because I had just gotten super into Pantera. So
Pantar.
it was. I was young when that happened. I can't remember what year that was, but
How old are you?
I'm 25. Same as you.
All right.
Yeah.
I bet the only song that I think I really know from Pantera is Cemetery Gates. And it's really good.
I
like
did
that
not
song.
realize how bad celebrity deaths could affect
Yeah,
people
just really-
until it came out this year. And there was a friend of mine, and apparently she had this whole backstory with her mom where she had watched the original It miniseries with Tim Curry and
Yeah.
everything. And she brought it up, and I went, "Oh, I think he's dead now." He's not.
He's not.
He's not.
dead. Tim
He
Curry-
had
Tim Curry's not dead.
some big health issue.
He had a bad stroke.
Right, and that's what I was going off of, but for some reason, I read that, and then in my mind over time, it had been distorted into he had a stroke and died. And so I told her, and before we could even verify the fact that he was dead, she just started sobbing.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so," and I looked it up real quick, and I was like, "He's not dead. I'm so sorry.
okay, it's
I didn't
okay."
know. I'm not even one of his fans. I'm so sorry." And that was the first time I really
Tim
got
Curry.
how badly a celebrity death could affect.
Yeah.
As of
Dime-
December 11th, 2017, Tim Curry's not dead yet.
He's alive.
Dimebag
Dude.
was the first celebrity death that really impacted me. I had a in memory of Dimebag shirt whenever I was 13. I had a Pantera chain wallet whenever I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I was so into Pantera. We were talking about the first albums we remember buying. Great Southern Trendkill by Pantera is one
Yes,
of
sir.
them. Great Southern Trendkill is the one that I got. One of the three albums I remember definitely listening to, and first ones I remember really buying whenever I was a kid was Great Southern Trendkill by Pantera, Live Cannibalism by Cannibal Corpse.
God.
Oh my god.
I was 11 or 12 years old and bought Live Cannibalism
Holy shit! Really?
by Cannibal Corpse. It was
Oh
a
my
live
God.
album.
You okay,
That
bro?
was after. That was after the whole parental advisory things on fucking CDs. I have something to say about Tim Curry after
Anyway,
Jacob
all right.
goes.
it was Live Cannibalism, and then I had a Metal Blade Records compilation album that was really big to me that I played all the fucking time. It was called Uncorrupted Steel 2, I believe. It had there's a lot of bands on there that I don't remember because I wasn't into, but I definitely remember listening to Vader on that album.
Okay.
There was
Yeah.
a Vader song. There was a Monomarth. There was God Dethroned. I believe Graveworm was on there. 6 Feet Under, Cannibal Corpse, Dying Fetus.
You remember the things in the back of guitar books or guitar magazines that had a list of shirts you can buy and
Yeah.
you
Yes.
can buy fucking
Rockabilia?
ashtrays and
Rockabilia.
that is what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
That's the only, honestly, even to this day, the only exposure I have to Cannibal Corpse.
Really, dude.
Because I felt like
love
their
Cannibal Corpse.
shirts were so disturbing. I was
They
like,
are.
I can't look at
They
that.
were banned up until 2006 in Germany.
Yeah.
Because they're extreme. Anyway, so Uncorrupted Steel. It also had Dies Array was on there. There's a lot of bands on there that I fucking found out about through that. So it was Pantera, Great Southern Trendkill, Live Cannibalism by Cannibal Corpse.
God,
And, yeah.
that explains a lot.
Nah, I was 10 years old whenever I first started listening to Pantera.
That's
and
how.
Slayer and
That's
shit.
why you figured out that your whole right
By the
arm
time-
of tattoos were gonna be dead.
By the
bitches.
time I was 14, I was listening to fucking Satanic War Master and fucking Dark Throne and shit. Whenever I was fucking 13 or 14.
never
You
heard of them.
progressed to what motherfuckers over 25 had progressed to.
Yeah.
Yo, I think it's funny that your dad's a noted kind of old school country singer.
Yeah. 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 I don't know, man. I just always gravitated to the more extreme, just brutal music. I don't
What's
know.
the stigma of it? You know?
Yeah, I just thought it was cool, man. Whenever I remember fucking having dial-up internet,
Ooh,
And then
AOL 3.0.
fucking lime wiring. Yeah, lime wiring so many fucking.
I have a story about AOL and Big John. His mom never paid for AOL for 19 years. He would get he would have a new screen name every 300 hours. Cuz he just had he had a stack of fucking 300-hour AOL things from Walmart.
Would
fucking
steal them.
awesome.
Would steal them from me and my cousin. One of the 5,000 cousins I have.
Yeah. Actually,
I've been deep into the Satan music for a long time.
If you wanna tell that story, I have a sound effect queued up to kick it off.
do it. You got to put it up to the
That's
microphone.
fucking dial-up.
Do
modem-
it.
Modem noise. I knew it.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's music to my ears.
God, I remember that so much.
Yeah. Welcome to AOL. So good.
I had MSN.
So good. I remember hanging out at Tony's house reading comic books. Dialing up. And then we would hear like on the little like the modem speaker, his stepmom would come over and was like, "Are you on the phone? You on the phone?" Because there wasn't a dedicated line. Oh my God.
Trying to use the phone.
Get off the internet! Stop looking at porn!
I gotta send an email. Is there anybody gonna be on the internet for like the next 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
And that song
Or the phone, sorry.
that song just introduced Vampire the Masquerade to me.
Yeah. Do you guys? You guys are big into chat rooms, right?
Back in
Oh,
the day.
God.
Oh
I
my
was
God, yeah.
super into chat rooms. I was really into this anime chat room whenever I was like fucking
Chat rooms
I was
only-
terrified of chat rooms.
Chat rooms are
Really?
the
Yeah.
chat rooms are the only reason I know.
I held
I'm
off
gonna
on
buy a
social
bitch in
media
Camaro.
altogether until like 2009.
Did you?
Yeah. I was
Oh,
like
boy.
super scared of
With-
like, chat rooms, social media, all this other stuff.
There was a song about I'm gonna buy a bitch in Camaro with my share of the booty or something.
What the fuck was that?
I don't
We
know. It-
saw that in the chat.
It was in a chat room, and it has literally stuck with me since I was 14.
I miss chat rooms. There's no good chat rooms anymore.
I had a
there
I had a
any chat
long distance
rooms?
girlfriend.
There's like
a chat room.
Encyclopedia Metallicum has like
So-
an IRC chat room, but no one really gets on. People idle in it all the time, but no one really talks in it.
Talking about mashups with like different background songs, like the dial-up mashup that you were just talking about. Have you heard Childish Gambino and the Weeknd's mashup with
No.
Stranger Things theme song?
Oh my God.
The only thing I know
Yeah.
from him is he wanted to be Spider-Man,
True, but you should listen to that.
and then he was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as Miles Morales' uncle, which is the new Spider-Man.
alternate.
Yeah. Sorry. Whoa,
Motherfucker.
nerded out there for a second. Lost my
All right,
head.
yeah, you killed that. Way to
Whoa,
go, bro.
I don't know shit about him. And he's
What
in
were
a
we
show.
talking about?
God,
I was-
everything.
I talked about.
You were
music.
talking about Pantera.
Yeah,
Yours is Great Southern Trendkill.
that was my first album with for
Cowboys from Hell.
yeah.
What there was?
there?
He said something about somebody.
What was the live album?
My second album was Far Beyond Driven.
Yeah,
My
Far
second
Beyond
Pantera
Driven.
album I ever bought was Far Beyond Driven.
What about your third?
Then I definitely had like Vulgar Display of Power and Cowboys from Hell. The only one I never had that I never owned, but I've listened to it is Reinventing the Still.
Reinventing Still is pretty good.
I had I had their greatest hits album. There was their greatest hits album was called the Great Southern Cowboys Vulgar something. It was like the title of the compilation of the greatest hits album was like a combination of like all their albums put together.
Yeah.
What was that band that kind of was born out of Pantera? That was like Pantera and David Allan Coe.
That's Rebel Meets Rebel.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
And they had that
Rebel
song
Meets
Hell
Rebel,
Yeah
yeah.
or some shit like that.
No, there's a band. Hell Yeah. Vinny Paul plays in Hell Yeah, which I met their lead singer, their
hate Hell Yeah.
guitarist, and their bassist a few months ago.
At a bar randomly.
No, it was we were at Oak City Meatball
Dude.
in Raleigh, and they were playing at the Lincoln. I didn't know they were playing. I just seen all these people on the street wearing Hell Yeah t-shirts. So I was like, okay, all right. So there's a show going on, and then fucking Chad Gray from Hell Yeah and Mudvayne comes walking in the door, and like these, I didn't recognize him at first because he's got like black and like fire engine red dreadlocks now apparently, or at that time.
As he should.
Because Hell Yeah, some of the dudes. Well, you might have just said this and I didn't hear you, but some of the dudes from Mudvayne, right?
It's
John did. I didn't
It's
say
Chad
that.
Gray, the lead singer from Mudvayne, and the guitarist from Mudvayne used to be in it, but he quit.
Wasn't there something about Mudvayne and Slipknot? Didn't they do a band together or some shit like that?
I have no idea.
You want to hear a bad joke though?
Yeah.
What's the best thing to come out of Dimebag Darrell's death?
Oh no.
Damage Plan is no longer a band.
Oh yeah,
That's
Damage
terrible.
Plan had one good song.
I never
Horrible.
liked Damage Plan.
They had one good song.
Dude, to be honest, like
Horrible.
I didn't like any of the music after Pantera from any of the members except for Phil Anselmo, and I like almost everything Phil Anselmo's ever done.
Down.
I
Super
hate
Joint Ritual.
Super Joint Ritual, Scour. I don't know if you listen to Scour.
No.
John
It's like
and I-
it's like Phil Anselmo doing black metal, dude.
John and I were
Really
talking about
fucking
Down
awesome.
and Superjoint the other day.
Yeah, I love both
Because I
of
mean,
those bands.
Superjoint has Hank the Third in it.
Plays bass. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, and it was just a heroin fueled record sesh.
Yep.
love it, dude. I love Super Joint Ritual so much.
We're very much like Superjoint.
He's got a
Ritual
new
right now.
band.
We're just an alcohol fueled record sesh.
Yeah. He's got a new band. It's kind of punkish, and I can't remember the name of it. It's like Phil Anselmo and the Bastards or some shit like that.
We were talking about like kind of like heavy metal bands.
You were riding with me, and I was listening to Corrosion of Conformity.
Corrosion of Conformity, which is coming out with a new album
with Pepper.
with Pepper
with
Keenan.
Pepper.
Now
I'm not. He's not my favorite.
little shout out though. I mean,
I
there's
like-
some
I like
North
Pepper.
Carolina guys.
No, I love, dude. I
mean,
fucking love
Corrosion
Corrosion.
Conformity. Like they've
If
been
you're
around.
from North Carolina and know of Corrosion Conformity and don't like them, you're not really from North Carolina. I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, Corrosion Conformity just sounds so fucking North Carolina.
they are
to me.
literally.
Yeah.
We're all Johnson County boys except for Ethan. He's on his phone, so he doesn't count right now.
Coming in hot from Burke County.
But like Corrosion of Conformity is almost Johnson County boys.
No, they are. I ran into
Yeah.
one of the guys that played bass.
They're from
for
like
them,
Wendell,
like
Wendell Zebulon area.
He was either like a studio bass player or like he toured with him at the Brogdon store like a couple years ago.
Yeah, dude. Like our buddy Cody. I've tattooed.
Broadslab.
Broadslab.
Yeah, from Broadslab. Great, they're a good band.
I've tattooed
I like
with
Broadslab.
him. He got me into CrossFit and kind of helped me change my life with to the healthy side a little bit. And he actually he's played music with those guys.
He recorded with Reed Mullins.
Yeah.
He had a recording studio. I think he's still got a recording studio in it.
Something about Pepper too. Like, you know, Pepper some way.
Pepper used to live in Clayton.
I just think it's cool. Like the Corrosion of Conformity, and not a lot of people know that those dudes are like North Carolina boys, and not just North Carolina boys. They're like
Local.
fucking almost
Joco.
local.
They
like
came up.
Johnson County boys.
They came up. They started out as a punk band in Raleigh.
Yeah.
And they played at the brewery. Rest in peace, because that was the only place.
Rest in pieces. I was there that night. They tore it to pieces.
Yeah, we ripped that
Whoa,
motherfucker.
Dustin
apart.
The Cajun. I thought Rocker broke in for a
Yo,
second.
I really thought
Hell yeah, thank you.
a ghost was here.
My ears hurt.
Dude, my fucking heart dropped. I was like, who in the fuck?
Real talk, we've been recording for like 3.5 hours.
Nah, we're
So wait. Earlier when I was
240.
talking about my musical influences, and you guys were saying I would probably get along great with Dustin.
That's
Yeah,
the Dustin.
that's
guy?
Dustin.
This is the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
when we get done
Dustin, dude.
recording, I know Dustin just got off. He's probably tired and don't want to deal with our shit right now. But God, y'all got to play guitar together, man.
I was talking about how my influences are essentially Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and BB King.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and you
And
brought
how
out
you guys were into
you
were
didn't you bring out
into-
Robert Johnson too?
Yeah, Robert Johnson and pre-World War Blues, all that good stuff. Yeah.
These two guys, they just it's a new relationship.
Couldn't make magic.
Throw that
Yeah.
shit in the floor, man.
It's a bromance.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Fuck
Man,
them
I'm
cat pants.
I'm already into it.
Long y'all.
How was work, Dustin?
Was it good?
It was good. It was good.
I like how he talked louder.
Jill from fucking Canada. Goddamn, sync up the pictures.
Oh man, the internet sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
Fucking Apple sucks sometimes.
We can't say that out loud.
Huh?
We can't say that.
He won on the mic.
Oh man, you just threw me off. What was I gonna say? I mentioned something to
We
you.
were
That I
talking
wanted to
about
say
corrosion
something
and
about someone.
conformity and fuck, I don't know.
I don't know.
Curry, Tim Curry.
Yes, Tim
So
Curry.
Tim Curry was in an interview. Yeah, I know it's
That
way
was
back.
what?
Rewind.
Yeah, hold on.
Backtrack.
What the fuck was that?
Tim Curry was he had an interview after the new It movie came out. He's like, you know what? This movie's really good. And he had his like slurred speech and his fucking cool ass wheelchair because he's rich and he's had a stroke.
Yeah,
He is essentially Professor X.
I thought Stranger Things.
He is essentially, yeah.
I thought Stranger Things the movie was pretty good too.
Did I say Stranger
It
Things?
was Stranger Things. Like my,
It was
Oh,
strange.
I got
That's
it.
for sure.
I haven't seen either
it
one of
was
those. so.
like it was good. And my brother, the way he described it to me was it's Stranger Things, but it's R-rated. And then when I finally watched it, the kid from Stranger Things is in it, and I was like, okay.
Finn Wolfhard or whatever
Yes.
his name, which is like the
Yeah.
most
Oh my
fucking
God.
metal name ever.
It
Are you
is
serious? Finn Wolfhard is this
Yeah.
kid's name?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
sounds
he's
like
gonna
a
be in a
fucking
metal band.
Viking, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like it is a good movie. I enjoyed it. I can't wait for the sequel.
John has a bottle opener. All right, you got it, boo.
He said, I don't need it.
God damn
yeah,
it.
you're a professional. Get it, get it. We but back to Tim Curry.
Yes.
He made this. He was in an interview. He's like, it's all right movie. And apparently, the little kid in this movie was scared to death of Tim Curry in the suit.
Would he not be?
I would be
Talking
There it
about
is.
Tim Curry in the suit or
Tim Curry.
Andrew Skarsgård.
Tim Curry, the original. It.
It wasn't Was it Andrew?
It's an intro.
The
It's one of the
miniseries.
Skarsgårds of
It
the
was one of those
fucking,
dudes.
Bill Skarsgård.
Icelandic
Bill
Hollywood.
wait.
Bill, yeah, that's it.
Well,
Yeah,
this dude,
yes.
this little kid, he told a story about him becoming it.
You know,
and,
his
like,
brother was in True Blood.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
No, I'm
Alexander.
just going to keep interrupting you.
Skarsgård.
Alexander.
And he
Skarsgård.
also was
You know,
Thor-Man.
his dad
Love
was
you.
in.
His dad was in-
His Thor. His dad was in Thor and
Yes.
fucking Good Will Hunting.
Yeah,
Yes.
his dad
Okay,
played
all right,
Loki's.
all right, sorry.
His dad plays Loki's
Jamie,
bitch.
Jamie, you have the floor. So sorry.
Them Skarsgård. They got a sister too.
Skarsgård.
Somebody do some research. They got a sister too. They're all Vikings and they're fucking
shit,
fantastic,
that was
beautiful
yeah,
people.
bro.
They have another brother. Actually, it might be the one that was in it. I'm not sure, but he played. There's a lot. One of
There's
the
a whole
Skarsgård
family.
One of the Skarsgårds played Loki in Vikings. The-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yep,
We
go for
have
it.
Alexander Skarsgård.
That's
and
the beautiful one.
That's one
He's,
from True
he's the
Blood.
one in True Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård, who is in It,
which is
It-
not
who is
Vampire Bill.
Pennywise. We have Gustav Skarsgård.
That's the one from Vikings.
And then we have
No.
Yes, it is Gustav
Is it?
Skarsgård.
It is.
Okay.
And then we have
Yeah.
my
Fuck you.
Skarsgård, literally just M.Y. Skarsgård.
And then
My
Stellan is
Listen,
the
that's
dad.
a little fucking hard, man. You're just calling them out like that's my Skarsgård. You can't
I
have
mean-
that one.
Stella or Stellan is like the guy from Thor.
then we have a spouse of one of them, Megan Everett.
She's not a Skarsgård. She
No, no.
doesn't count.
We're getting into it.
getting to the
We
in-laws.
have Walter Skarsgård.
Jesus.
Then we have Asia Skarsgård,
Bullshit.
spelled Eija.
How do you know it's pronounced Asia?
How else would that be pronounced?
You know, phonetically. I'm just phonics was good to me.
Iaja.
Yeah, he had that hook. He had that hooked on phonics when he was
Yes.
a kid, bro.
Yeah,
And,
apparently they teach people different in damn Appalachia.
Hey, hey.
Go
You tone that down right now. Appalachia. And then we have Sam Skarsgård. We have Colborne Skarsgård. We have Ossian Skarsgård.
Are you kidding me?
We have Gundren Larson, and then Jan
all of,
Skarsgård.
It's all of
Sounds
Iceland.
like a fucking Skyrim family.
I mean,
So
really,
those are the Skarsgårds.
What about
There's
Stellan?
no
Did you
girls?
say Stellan? And that's the fucking dude's name?
Stellan's the dad. He's
Yeah.
birthed all these fucking beautiful Icelandic creatures. You never said Stellan. He's the dad that played
sorry,
Loki's bitch in Thor.
I mean, I don't know what kind of monster would just go on the internet and lie, but I guess the internet lied to me.
He was the he was the dickhead math professor in Good Will Hunting, dude.
Yeah, he's the dad.
He was the guy that Robin Williams hated because he took I don't know, it was some crazy shit. You ever seen
Yeah.
the movie Good Will Hunting? It's just wild.
I just think it's
How
funny.
you
that,
like them apples?
I just think it's funny that Loki.
fucking Gordon Wood. You gonna fucking sit here regurgitating Gordon Wood?
I've never seen that movie either, so. I just think it's funny that Loki controlled the dad of the Skarsgård, and then the other kid is Loki from Vikings.
Shit's hype.
It's crazy. He builds boats. I don't
Yeah,
know if you've
dude.
ever seen Vikings, but Vikings is badass. Anyway, Tim Curry fucking told
Yes.
the story about this
Back to Tim
motherfucking
Curry.
kid that was fucking scared of him, and this guy.
We've gone back to Tim Curry like
Jesus
seven.
Christ. Well, nobody else is. He's in a wheelchair. But this kid's like super scared of him and fucking like the guy. Yes, please. The kid's like fuck. I'm over it. Whatever.
The kid's scared of him, dude. Go ahead,
Yeah.
get it out.
Tell us about Tim Curry.
He said something
Did
about.
you know the one guy's from Good Will Hunting?
Shut the fuck up.
We haven't gotten off track at all.
No.
No, never.
No, we really. I mean, we were pretty on track for the first 2 hours
First
and 30 minutes.
3.5 hours.
You know,
The he told a story of the kid being scared of him, and the guy's like, "I don't want to go down in the basement. I'm scared." And he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of the point. So you got to be." It was just stupid. I'm sorry, I fucked it up.
It's okay, dude. It's okay. You
It's
got
okay.
you're fucking thinking about
It's
you
okay.
got Good Will Hunting on the brain. I get it.
I get it. Good Will Hunt, man.
Fuck yeah, Gordon Wood, bro.
Gordon Wood.
Gordon fucking Wood, bro.
That's got that That's got that dude in it that kills the Nazis,
It's not,
right?
Hey, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
I want to watch this. Is it good?
Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like
Great Will
it's like one of my top fucking 5 movies of
No
all time.
shit, really?
I fucking love Good Will Hunting.
Look, I spent last night watching Disney movies. The fact that the
Kevin Smith was actually a producer on that
yes,
movie.
sir, he was, dude. It was Ben Affleck.
because the people in it.
This
Goddamn.
needs to be like the Lost episode. Like you just don't publish it until like randomly. Like
We already
7
had
years
one of
from
those.
now.
We already had one of those. The very first.
Very first. So this is like lost
What we've been
episode
recording
number
for what? How long? Like 2 hours and 47 minutes.
2 hours and 47 minutes and 5 seconds.
Dude, wrong. Wow.
God damn.
Wow. It was four. It was that amount of time before he finished the sentence, and then it got 5 seconds over.
In my defense, I said how long we've been recording, like just a little while
You
ago.
said 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and then you just did math.
Nah, dude.
Whatever.
That's too much.
Ooh, all right,
Basic
newspapers.
arithmetic.
I'm smarter than you.
Hey,
He
listen.
watched Good Will
Let's keep
Hunting,
that
so-
out of this.
Yeah, he
podcast.
knows how to do math. He watched Good Will
Oh
Hunting.
yeah, we're not talking about that. I
Right.
grew up in the mountains. I'm smarter than you.
No, let's just reiterate. I'm not here in any professional capacity.
We've already
representing any
established that.
organization.
You're
I just
not.
want to reestablish.
Well, it sounds to me that the podcast is going to go longer down.
I mean, we're going on 3 hours. This is going to be like 7 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm into it. That's like a fucking.
Fucking
That's the
whatever,
rest
dude.
of the year off.
Or you just
Actually,
you-
yeah, it is.
I was going to say,
actually.
wait, you publish it all at once and just call it the Marathon Podcast and do nothing until January.
Fuck. I mean, that sounds like a fucking. I mean, really, it sounds like a plan.
It is a good one, but
Good.
I mean,
Because really, like
the thing is though
Let me
that
see it
most
lighter.
people listen to a podcast for about an hour until they're over it. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So if they're gonna listen to the first hour of it, and then if they don't finish it, they're gonna never go back to it. That's how I am with podcasts.
Yeah, you know what? We'll break it up. They're good with it.
It's about a 4-week podcast at this point,
No, it's 3. It's going on 3.
which is
By the time
exactly
we
how
finish,
much time is left.
Let's
in this
talk
year.
about it until it is 3.
By
and
the
then
time
we'll-
it's 3,
Yes.
we will be at 3. So we're done with Good Will Hunting, Tim Curry. I'm looking at him right now. I'm literally looked up and saw Tim Curry on your wall.
That's
fucking-
Okay, all right.
that is
So
Tim Curry.
I'm going to introduce an entirely new concept here.
Okay.
Completely
We
random.
still never played Cards Against Humanity.
It's okay. We can get there. We can record for 5 hours. But I saw the whole sticker on the mirror with the Maryland flag, which raised the question in my mind, gentlemen. What is the most interesting or craziest place you've ever been?
Oh my god! I actually have another question after that about podcasts. I'm going to mention a couple podcasts I've been listening to lately, so we'll go to that.
Answer the fucking question.
I'm not going first.
I don't know off the top of my head. Let me think.
John knows. John's been a lot of crazy ass places like Mexico.
It's a tough one.
I went to Paris.
Dustin's here
Are you
now.
talking about the craziest
So-
place?
Like I went all over.
You asked the
Europe.
question. You know.
Right. I went all over Europe. Craziest place I went was Paris, but the story that I have from there that makes it the craziest place, I feel like I can't tell.
Dude, Low Brown
Why
Nation
can't you tell
exclusive,
it?
bro. Tell it. Come on now.
Why can't you tell it? Jacob told us he loves Little Bow Wow and Aaron Carter.
And he's got a straight edge tattoo that's
Well,
a block.
it's
now.
it's a lot.
It's the tribal briefcase.
It's maybe that's so I'll put it this way. Let's with that story, when this podcast is over, I will tell it and we can save it to like just spring on the public at a random time because it's a really wild story.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You can't preface.
Oh no, you
With
can't.
that.
You know what that's
No, you
called?
can't.
That's a teaser.
That's
That
a
is-
teaser.
that is a
That's
teaser.
a teaser. to
stay
get
fucking
people to
fucking
listen.
cliffhanger right there.
We-
lowbrow citizens.
We will we'll record we'll record what Ethan Smith is getting ready to say, and we
Did
will
you have to say my whole name?
yeah,
Why?
because it's your name.
I mean,
My
this-
name is James Linwood Massengill, the number 2.
Mine's just Ethan Andrew.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll go with that, Ethan Andrew. We'll record the
It's
Ethan
not
Andrew.
like
Risky.
we haven't said his name 5 times.
I
Yeah.
mean,
That's how you get Candyman to show up.
so like there's the whole what is it, Bloody Mary thing? In
Yeah,
the
you
mirror?
spin around 3 times. You look in a mirror in the
we
dark.
we have this joke. One of my friends, Brian Cherry, you met him.
Uh huh.
He always makes the strongest gin and tonics in the entire world.
Sounds like my man.
He'll pour them in a pint glass,
That smells
and he used like New Amsterdam or like whatever ridiculous shit, and he'll make it like 3/4 gin and like a quarter tonic.
That sounds shit.
And so we say
I'd
that
be
if you
mad
say
at
Brian
those.
Cherry and spin around 3 times in a mirror, that he just appears behind you with a gin and tonic.
now Jacob's gonna try it.
Oh, dude, immediately like gin and diet tonic, please.
I mean, literally just come to Goldsboro one weekend, and we always like party together on the weekends.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hang out.
So yeah, like
Yeah,
we
dude,
all
I'm
just
down.
need to hang out in Goldsboro and do the whole gin and tonic thing because
Yeah.
that is a black hole that you will never forget being
I
in.
fucking love gin and tonics, dude.
I don't
I
like
don't
gin
think
and
I've ever had
tonics.
a gin and tonic.
Dude, it's good. Do you like gin? Have you had gin?
Yeah, I like gin.
Gin
Yeah.
tastes like kissing a dude on the neck in the 1970s.
Nah,
All
bro,
right.
gin is good.
I was there.
I mean, I'm down for thick mustaches.
It ain't even got to make sense.
The past 2.5 hours haven't. So cool.
Y'all about to pull a shift.
So maybe this is the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon episode.
We literally, we literally have a morning show. Like
Boarding show. Yeah.
we just need commercials.
Linwood
got
in
it.
the morning.
Yo, that sounds good. Let's do it.
Morning Linwood.
Yeah, there you go. It's all coming together.
Yes.
So y'all already talk about your little jail tour you did?
What?
I saw you got tagged at like.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Let's not talk about that again.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm literally
that was
begging
the
to all that is
Bloodstain.
holy that we don't talk about that again.
Okay, I'll listen to it.
I'm already so
It
traumatized.
was Jacob.
I just-
It is the blood stain. It is the
I,
blood
like
stain.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my life, and that whole story, I was leaned back in my chair, and they said, "Ethan, you're being really quiet," and I said, "I'm utterly speechless."
It was gross.
It was a gross one.
Oh, that's one of the best beers, dude. We're drinking old Sam Smith's
Organic
chocolate stout.
Nice.
It literally tastes like beer and Hershey syrup.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's delicious.
like a
Holy
cigar in my mouth.
I don't know how to tell you this, Jacob. You're out of keto now.
Yeah, you broke keto with that
was
one
so
sip.
sweet.
That was at least 90 grams of sugar.
Holy fuck, that shit was sweet.
Wait, no, hold on. Like, just looking out
It
for you.
tastes-
I'll actually let
That
me
tastes
look up the
that
nutrition
tastes like
facts
what I
on this.
remember chocolate syrup tasting like.
Yeah,
Wow,
it
really?
tastes like chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
I'm not even shitting you, dude.
I
Yeah,
mean,
let me
considering
look this up for
yeah.
you. And
I can put that on ice cream.
We got a new fact checker. His
Yes.
name's Ethan Andrew.
It was a sip.
Thank you.
It was a sip. How many carbs are in a bottle of that? That way I can know. How many sips are in a bottle, and then we can figure out the carbs, and then we can cross-reference.
Beer doesn't have
There's
nutritional
really,
facts.
it literally says, don't drink it if you're pregnant.
Yeah,
I'm like
according-
fucking 7 beers in.
Isn't that
8
all beer?
beers.
Yeah, that's everything.
That's literally everything in general.
Excuse me.
It's gonna mess up your baby. That's all I know.
Okay.
Your
All
baby's
right.
gonna come out
the
drunk.
the Samuel Smith's Organic Chocolate Stout.
It's 5%.
12 ounce. It is 5%.
It's bullshit.
IBU 28. Ingredients:
easy peasy.
water, organic barley malt, organic cane sugar, organic hops, organic cocoa, and yeast. Nutritional info: serving size 12 ounces, 1 bottle. Calories 220, 0 grams of fat, 10 milligrams of sodium, 21 grams of carbs,
Okay.
6 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein.
That's not that bad.
Not as bad as what I thought it would be.
I could drink a bottle of that and monitor my carbs for the rest of the day and still be in keto.
Yo,
So you're safe.
I literally
Yeah, I'm good.
thought
Yeah.
that it was going to be way higher than it is.
I thought it was
So
gonna be like
actually,
50 or 60,
fun
yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Shout out to the guys at Brewworks again.
Oh, 207
because
North
they-
John Street.
No Joe Doto. There was
Gobo.
yes,
Doto.
Gobo Doto.
What is the Gobo?
Goldsboro.
Goldsboro?
It's no Joe.
But they
Mojo,
they have their
Joe,
whole bottles and
Mojo.
can selection.
Mojo Jojo.
So we all know how they have like the 3 television screens, and the far left one, it's their bottle and can.
It's the Bernie
selection.
Sanders one.
Yes. And what? And so
Far left.
they
Oh, I get it.
They just recently switched over their whole menu setup to where it's not just like lines and like whatever. They actually display like the brewery, its icon, and all of the nutritional information. And there's this sour that I really, really like, and it's by D9 Brewing. And
fucking amazing brewery.
yes,
D9 is. I've
Yes.
never had a bad.
And so
I don't
it
like
was-
IPAs, and D9.
I'm
has
I'm
good
about to
stuff.
hurt your heart because it's their Defying Gravity series sour, and it's the 14.2% dark chocolate and cherry sour. And
It literally, honestly, it sounds bad already.
no. Here's the thing: it tastes so good. It tastes like fruit punch with like just the littlest hint of chocolate in it, and it's incredible. But they switched their menu display to where there was like the nutritional value and everything.
Yeah.
And I drink sours because I think that they're less calories than
Yeah.
everything else, because typically they are.
If there's bacteria in it, it's good for you.
Right. And
Yogurt.
so
It's basically
they
kombucha.
put up the
basically
nutritional
what?
value.
Kombucha.
And I order one. And I get the bottle, and then I look up there, and I was like, oh my God. For one 12-ounce bottle of the D9 Defying Gravity, it's 420 calories.
Holy shit!
Yeah, okay. That was my exact reaction. I could not believe
Goddamn
it.
chocolate stuff?
Yes, exactly. And like that tastes like it
Yeah.
should be like a whole Hershey bar. But like this stuff, it tastes like fruit punch, little hint of chocolate, like super light, and it's really strong. So you drink those for the efficacy of them.
It's
and like,
really
you're not
strong.
thinking about it.
14.5.
Yeah. And so
Wow.
like you're not even thinking about it, and then you look at the calories and you're like, oh my god, that's a whole meal. Are you kidding me? And there was one night, and I went and I drank 5 of them, and and I woke up the next morning feeling like trash, feeling bloated. Like it was a weekend morning, so it wasn't a big deal. I didn't have anything to do that
You get
day.
the beer shits?
No.
Oh,
It was just
I
like
love
I
the
was
beer farts.
It
Beer
was like
farts
the
feel so
whole
good.
the whole bloat face going on and like the weird gut. And like I felt so uncomfortable, and I was like, "Oh, I drank last night were sours. Like I shouldn't be feeling like this." And then I saw what the actual nutrition on it was, and I was like, "Well, no freaking wonder I had a whole day's worth of calories." Yeah,
Dude.
It's literally the Monster Burger of beer.
yes,
yeah.
The Monster Burger has so many calories in it. The Monster Burger, if you get the Monster
Hardee's?
Burger, yes, if you get it low carb, if you
20,
get
30 calories.
it, even if
Yeah.
you get it low carb, it's still like 1,000 calories
Yes.
without the bread. Yeah,
Yeah, 2,030 calories for one burger.
that is.
I eat that often.
Artery-
And here's the thing:
artery
if I want
clogging
that, I'm gonna go to
fucking-
like a proper burger joint and get something with like fried onions and egg, bacon, all this other stuff on it. But
Legit.
that's just.
My brother ate 2 of those when he was fucking 11 years old.
But
listen,
why?
Listen, we're going to talk about.
Like fine.
Big boy.
We can talk about
You
burgers.
done ruined his
We can talk
whole
about
life.
burgers in a second.
That's all I know.
You people from Appalachia.
Careful.
People, what you
You
mean?
people.
About
You people.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Don't get your ass whooped, boy.
People.
I mean, I know this is a little.
My
bit
beard will come over there and whoop you.
Oh. Oh. Tie me up.
Ooh,
Wait.
what?
Yeah.
Who
I'm
said
good
that?
with it. Whatever.
All right.
It is
So,
fucking.
This has reached
You and
unprecedented
Zach.
levels of ridiculous.
you and Zach both say proper a lot.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's just weird that y'all say proper a lot.
Well, you say gay shit a lot.
I do.
So actually,
I
all right,
can't be mad at that because
fun,
it's true.
like, fun fact: there's actually a lot of dialect and sayings and slang up in the mountains that aren't anywhere else. Have you guys ever heard the word cattywampus?
Yeah,
Oh
cattywampus.
yes, sir.
Okay.
John has a
I say
cattywampus tattoo.
I say cattywampus a lot.
Do you know what cattywampus is?
I have a cat.
Like catty cornered, like crooked.
Off center, off
Off
yeah,
center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now John has a tattoo of a
Wampus cat.
wampus cat.
wampus cat.
Damn,
Yes.
cattywampus.
Yep, right
Yep.
there.
The reason it is because it's kind of a little off.
I like it.
Yep.
There's there's another
that's
one.
cool
I'm
that you
struggling to
know it.
remember.
Like a lot of people don't know that.
It's my grandmother is from the hood in Goldsboro, and I say that affectionately. She grew up in the projects off of Slocum Street in Goldsboro. So,
Slocum
like,
Street's where you get shot.
Yeah. And
You get a-
there's
you
another
get
one.
Two things. You get
Oh,
a shot or
oh.
a piece of pussy.
There it is.
I bought weed.
So there's another term in the mountains. Side goggling.
What?
Side goggling.
Side goggling.
Yeah. It just means side eye.
Yeah, like you got
cockeyed.
crooked eye.
Cockeyed. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, or if you're like glaring at
motherfucker looking
somebody,
at you side
side goggling. Yeah.
What did you say, Dustin?
Huh?
What did you say?
Yeah.
I was just trying to mock that shit.
Yeah.
Side
Side goggling. But
Motherfucker
I don't know.
side
Like
goggling
North
me.
Carolina is crazy because we have 100 counties and at least as many dialects in the same state.
Yeah, dude. You go to like the eastern part, like fucking Atlantic,
Yeah.
and then even in the Hyde County and Dare County, the high titles. I mean, it literally, I've said this many times. High titles sound like high titers. Sound like they're like drunk, like redneck Bostonians.
Yes.
That literally just got off the boat from Ireland, but they've been drinking a lot of beer.
Yep.
I mean, they sound like drunk redneck Yankees.
You say that all the time? That's a
To
mouthful.
customers. Well,
I say this all the time, but they sound like drunk Boston, Ireland people who just drink a lot of beer. And it didn't sound like you said it all the time. You said it very unconfident in what you were saying.
I say it as inconfidently every time.
What had happened was
Let me see them sunglasses.
I was looking for those today, actually. These
Yeah, I went to
sunglasses.
your dad's.
Cool.
Over there.
Are you doing your Eric Church impression right
Yeah.
now?
yes. Okay. Wait. So
Carrie
looping
King.
it back
That's more
around.
like Carrie King right now.
Looping it right back around.
Yep.
Nobody else told their story about the craziest place
You
they've
damn
ever been.
right.
Craziest. Oh fuck, we never did.
No.
Holy shit.
Bring it back full circle. Let's
This
go.
is the
Craziest
tangent
place.
episode.
That John's ever been. Go.
Why is it
Johnston County.
Bro, you ever heard of a place called Brogdon?
You ever place on Broad
Has you
Slab?
ever even been there?
I have seen a half-naked man hanging from a bridge while 5 other dudes piss off of it onto cars going down 40 highway.
That's fucking
Where?
some broad slab
In
shit.
Broad Slab.
Broad
Good.
slab.
Good. Good old broad slab.
The craziest place I've ever been. I don't know. Like
Been some crazy places.
I've been some crazy places, but like
Well, tell us.
like the craziest fucking stories I have are from fucking Broad Slab. Like my boy Grimes hanging from a fucking bridge with his pants down around his ankles as 5 other dudes pissed on cars going down fucking 40 highway.
That sounds terrible.
Fucking hilarious.
Are those the same
like-
dudes that got arrested for throwing tombstones in the car windows?
no.
Are
I have
you
no-
sure?
No, positive.
Did I look that good with those on?
No, you
No,
know, I was gonna
no.
say that they look
Look.
good on him.
He's got
God.
the fucking beard and the
Look at
hair
this guy.
with the tie and everything. Dude, like, yeah.
Somebody take a picture of that. It's for the Instagram.
Please don't.
Hashtag.
do it for the gram.
Don't tell me no.
I don't know the craziest place I've ever been. I went to Columbus, Ohio, and West Virginia. West Virginia was pretty crazy.
That was when you were playing the Major League Gaming.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly,
West Virginia's pretty wild.
one of the
It's
craziest
gross.
places I've ever been, but it's not that crazy to me, is a tattoo convention. Because literally, like, I mean, there's chicks walking around with like limited clothes on. They have like fucking pinup contests with bitches, just fucking
I wonder what unlimited clothes look like.
titties.
Unlimited respawn.
Instant response.
I don't really have like a crazy place I've ever been. I would say I'd go back to Broadside though.
Bro.
I've seen some fucking stupid, fucked up shit in that area of the
Like the
woods.
night that like almost got shot in the head by SKS.
Yeah. Or the guy
Fucking-
we were the night we were fucking hanging out. I think it was the same night. The motherfucker's going down the road at least fucking 50 miles an hour and throws his truck in reverse and spins it around. Or the night in the same area where the dude they scheduled a fight, literally scheduled a fight because somebody was talking to some other person's old lady behind the local grocery store
Piggly
in
Wiggly.
Benson. Nah, it was Carly C's IGA.
I think you can tell stories better.
No, I suck at telling stories. And the dude, they scheduled a fight. Dude's dad was there, and one of our buddies put his nose through the roof of his mouth.
Wait, what? Hold on. How does that? What?
He hit him so hard in the nose that his nose broke, and it broke the top palate of his mouth.
That's fucking metal.
Yeah,
That's Broad Slab.
that's Broad Slab,
That's
dude.
Broad Slab, dude.
Like,
That's insane.
I've never felt there. The only time I've ever felt any like legitimate fear that I was going to lose my life was when I was in Broad Slab and I had a guy pull a gun on me because me and a friend, the same guy who fucking tore his transmission out of his truck doing donuts in reverse, decided that he just needed to see his ex-girlfriend, and some guy just kept. My thing is, like, drug dealers, like, if someone tells you no, this is, like, fucking weird. If someone tells you, no, I don't want to buy any crack from you, then don't try 5 more times.
yeah.
Like, we're not here for crack. God damn, this just sounds...
Life advice from
Speak
Big
for
John.
yourself.
Yeah.
Don't
So,
smoke crack.
so we're sitting here in
Crack
this parking
is
lot
whack.
waiting for this girl to get off, and this guy just keeps coming walking up. Hey, man, you want to buy some crack? First 2 times, no, man, we don't, don't do that. We don't do that,
Yeah.
He comes back 3 more times. The last time my friend
Sure,
just
you sure you
fucking-
don't want some rock?
Yeah.
I got some rock.
Yeah. The last time my friend just loses his shit, he's like, get the fuck away or I'm going to fuck you up. All of a sudden, this is this older guy, kind of frail looking, gray headed.
he's a crackhead. He's gonna be frail.
crackhead. As soon as my friend just raises his fucking voice, this big fucking like roided out dude just comes from out of the shadows and is like, is there a goddamn problem here? And I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh fuck. And my buddy was like, if your fucking boy would stop trying to sell me fucking crack right now, we'd be fine. And the guy was like, no, is there a goddamn problem here? And we were like, dude, just go the fuck away. We'll be fine. And next thing you know, he's like, he just fucking pulls up out of his waist a fucking Glock and he just points at us like, is there a goddamn problem? My friend,
Are you sure it was a Glock, or
He
was
just-
it some
did you-
other
it
did you-
looked like a Glock.
manufacturer
Did you
of firearms?
end up buying crack?
No.
I would have been like, let me get a 20 bag, bro. You're gonna put a gun in my face. Let me get a rock.
No. my friend, at this point, any other normal person would be like, all right, dude.
I would need
okay,
some crack to deal with that, dude.
We're leaving right now. I'm sorry. Look, just
No.
chill the fuck out.
But
No,
this other friend we're talking about is probably
the worst person to ever do that.
5'10", maybe 170 pounds, soaking wet. But this motherfucker, no.
Has a serious problem.
This
With
motherfucker
fucking
is
small man
10
syndrome.
feet tall and bulletproof 92% of the time.
Yeah.
Unless his ex-old lady's involved. Then he's like 3 feet. But yeah, like, no shit. This guy is like the ballsiest son of a bitch I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. Legitimately. Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't imagine that. No, that's stupid. What was that noise?
That was my-
So
Are you
Jacob,
all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Jacob,
What?
craziest place you ever been?
you can't say Brogdon because Broadside already beat that out.
Dude,
You ever been any crazy bars?
West Virginia.
Yes.
Speaking of West Virginia, Barstool Sports bought Rough and Ready
Thank you.
Brawl, and Rough and Ready is going to have a pay-per-view coming on this Friday night. And it's basically just a pay-per-view like Tough Man competition. It's $9. Rough and Ready Brawl in Rough in the letter N. RoughAndReadyBrawl.com. You can buy it and you can watch it. And I hate to be plugging a fucking Barstool because they make a lot of money, but they got a really good golf podcast. So.
What are you talking about again?
You get to watch fucking people punch each other's face in, and it's based out of West Virginia. They're like a bunch of fucking hillbillies from West Virginia
West Virginia.
beating the shit out of each other. It's awesome. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna watch it at the
I don't
house.
know the craziest
So
place.
how
Yeah.
long is this podcast at this point? Like 3 hours and 1 minute?
3-8.
3-8.
It'll be 3 episodes.
Are we gonna do the Paris story and then call it
The what
I feel like we should call it before then.
before the Paris story?
Yeah.
We're gonna
Let's
exit it?
call it before. That's got to be a whole separate thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can just end this episode and be like, all right, this is an episode. Stay tuned for the Paris story, and then you tell the Paris story.
Yeah, we can do it like a supplemental, like a captain's log.
I'm terrified to put that story on the record because I was 16 and really dumb.
Well, John,
dude,
all
fucking,
the
you have-
stories
you
John
have,
just said, he was 16.
You have what's it called? What is it? Not diplomatic. Is it diplomatic immunity?
No, it's
I
not
have
a
none of that.
diplomat. It's
Diplomatic.
What the fuck is it called? whenever
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations. There you go. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No, like there's nothing illegal involved. It's just
it was less than 10
unsavory.
years ago because you used babies.
It was 11 years ago.
It was nothing illegal then, dude. I
Yeah,
wasn't worried
nothing.
about
Just unsavory.
it. What did you like? Fucking. I don't know what happened.
We'll change your name.
No comment.
Look, we've already
Go on.
mentioned his name in full.
Yeah.
Mixing this story.
We have mentioned his
What-
place of business.
What?
I can't be telling that in the same episode.
No.
What
For
I
sure.
imagine
We actually
happened-
like this whole past minute. We should probably just slop off the ends. Actually, like legit, let's just slop off the last
I mean,
minute.
I don't want the man to lose his job.
Yeah, that'd be ideal if I didn't lose my job.
Yeah.
fair.
So
If it's-
let's wrap it and then we'll smoke a cigarette. And I'll tell you.
Fuck yeah, we'll cut this shit off right now. I want to hear the goddamn
All
story.
All right.
Bikes.
Well, let's go and let everyone know that we're getting some secret information you guys are never going to hear.
Yes, maybe one day.
Next
All right.
week on the Lowbrow Nation, we hear a story that Jamie's already told 10 times.
Well, yeah, because that happens every episode.
Next week is 4 weeks from now.
Yes. We've only been recording for 17 hours.
We got 2 seasons in one night.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Next week will be next year.
Well,
This is it.
ladies and gents, this has been the Lowbrow Nation, only the best podcast known to man
It's the only podcast.
and God.
The only podcast.
And-
And it is only with the
Vishnu.
most dope gentleman in the entire universe.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks
It's been a
for
pleasure.
being here.
Thanks for being here.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Sorry I missed
I'm just so stoked I get like 3 weeks off.
Yes.
Well, we might record just for shits and giggles.
it.
And enjoy
We have
this
guests
episode.
lined up for like the next 3 weeks. Just was
I
an
got
accident.
I got Christmas shopping to do next weekend. I got the drinking of the whiskeys coming up at some point.
Oh, yeah, I want to be involved in
Yeah,
that.
we got the
I love how that's scheduled.
Definitely want to be involved with that.
The,
drinking of the whiskey.
is a semi-sacred event according to Webster.
Yeah, Webby.
Oh, Webby. All
right.
Different thing. A lot of stuff no one knows what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Well,
We
thank you,
got
ladies
Roo
and
Run
gentlemen.
coming up.
We do have a rerun coming up.
Yes, we do.
What now?
We'll explain
let
that
Jamie
soon.
rumble it to the barn.
Listen, guys, thank you all for listening to the Lowbrow Nation. Thank you, Ethan, for being here.
Of course.
Big John, thank you, you son of a bitch. Dustin, I'm glad you got
Thanks
here
for catching the
before we
ass
stopped
in.
recording.
Yeah.
Catch us in the morning for, what was it?
Morning Linwood. All right, fuck you all. See you later.